What is going on, everybody? I am here. I should be. Am I? Yes, maybe so? Okay, cool. I gotta change my webcam a little bit. Because my orientation... I had to move so much stuff around. Dude, I was screaming before stream about how, like, I hate everything. So... yeah, it was not a good time. Because I don't like technology. Technology freaking sucks, y'all. But it's okay. We're good now. So I'm getting it taken care of. Welcome in, Scooter and Dons. I see you are both here, and I appreciate ya. Scooter was, in fact, first, Dons. Here first. He was here, like, right as I hit go live, actually. And then you came in after. So yeah, no, I'm standing by my man Scooter. He was here. Alright, let me reset this one more time. Okay. Man, this is... hold on, it's difficult to get this orientation because I had to change my, like, where my stuff is. And I had to change my whole setup. There we go. Okay, I think I'm good now. Okay. I'm gonna move my mic a little bit as well. Can y'all still hear me good? I'm assuming you can. Hopefully, maybe. I'm trying to find the best spot to, like, put my mic to where I can still read chat and fully see the screen on this TV. I don't know. I decided to wait a minute or two before I joined. Oh, Lord. Well, sucks to suck. You missed out, and now you just gotta deal with the consequences of your actions. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm starting my first playthrough of it. It's gonna be cool. And yeah, so story time. Saved automatically. Okay. How many players? One player! We're just gonna have a nice casual Pikmin stream. Do. I've never seen this game. This is installation number 4. I've only played the first one. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I beat the first one. I played a little bit of the others. But I'm jumping into Pikmin 4, and it'll be cool. I've never played a Pikmin game, so this is gonna be interesting. It's fun. But I will say, oh, actually, I'll shut up for the intro. Sorry, it looks so weird whenever I'm drinking. I guess I don't really have to shut up because they're talking, like, gibberish. But I played the first Pikmin game and I liked it, but then I rage quit number 2 because it was so hard. Well, it wasn't hard, I just got annoyed. Olimar! It's just nice, like, chill, kind of strategy game. You rage? Yeah, because all my Pikmin died, and I got so pissed off I never played the game again. I straight up cried because all my Pikmin died, and then I was like, I'm never playing Pikmin again. But here we are with Pikmin 4, so, we're back. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, probably going to cry again, because inevitably I'm sure my Pikmin are gonna die, and I'm gonna wanna die with them. And more Pikmin to their deaths? No! Not the little Pikmin, so they're so cute! Look at him go! Is that one karma? Is that one? Yes, it is! It is me! I am here and alive. It's going good, Talon. Nice to see you here. I know I haven't streamed in a really long time. It's because I had a lot going on. I made a whole YouTube video last Tuesday explaining it. So if you want to kind of know where I've been, what I've been up to, I have a full video over there on my YouTube channel. It's 30 minutes, but if you kind of like go to the middle-ish of the video, it mostly explains everything. But yeah. So I don't know if you watch any of my YouTube stuff, but it is definitely there. There's a lot of stuff. Alright. Pikmin time! People need breaks, and that's a good enough reason for me. Yeah, 100%. I just had a lot of medically stuff going on, and it was just a huge mess. So I ended up just needing some time to take care of myself and kind of process some things going on in my life. Like major life changes, things like that. Lots of doctor's appointments, so just not a happy, good, fun time break, but it was definitely necessary just to kind of keep myself sane, you know? Sorry, I'm trying to move my mic around, so like, just bear with me for one more moment. Because like I said, I had to, in order to get my Switch set up, I had to like really change around how my desk is set up. There we go, I think. Oh my lord, I almost just knocked my drink off my desk. Yeah, I had to like clean off my desk, and then I added a mini TV I've had for a long time, so I have like a TV on my desk as well as my computer, and I had to like rearrange it, so it's a little whack. But it's okay. So I'm still like, as I'm playing, trying to figure out the proper orientation. The fucking dog thing. Hey, yeah, it's a doggy. It's all good. Something about this area is different from the others we've explored so far. Wait, where are you running off to? They're all hiding. The dog's face is what karma does whenever someone mentions milk. Oh my lord. Yeah, I do not like milk. But I feel like everyone here already knows that very well. That can't be a good sign. The Pikmin don't usually scurry off like that. I suppose I'll have to call them back while I search for the missing ship parts. No milk? Yeah, literally. Okie dokie. I still remember those clips from when you drink some. Very funny. Oh lord. It was the worst. Oh, wow. That... So, fun fact with the sound alerts, because I'm actually listening to the audio through the Switch, I can't hear, like, through a headset or anything on, whatchamacallit, for my computer. So it's actually just playing out of my computer speakers, so it, like, jump scared me a little. Because that's the only way I can hear. Okay, look ahead. See, I'm not used to use- Ooh, wow. That's probably gonna use my mic also. No. Okay, hold on. So, that was really... I'm gonna have to turn my thing down so I can hear, but my mic isn't picking up y'all's sounds, because like I said, it's playing like through my computer speakers. So, oh no. The fuck? It's playing through my computer speakers so I can hear it, because I'm listening to Switch audio, not computer audio.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up!
Never back down, never what?
Never give up!
Let's go!
Alright. There we go. Should be okay now. I just had to lower the volume on my computer speakers so that it wouldn't, like... You wouldn't hear it in my mic and the actual audio, you know? Okay, so look ahead. Nice. Look around. Nice. Okay. Cool. Oh lord, the air horn. Wait, why did the air horn not even go off? What the heck? I can never hear that never back down audio the same after doing the most recent day 1 raid on Destiny. Oh lord. I saw some of Pikmin head this way. Yeah, I don't know why the air horn, like, just canceled itself off. I don't know why. They could be hiding behind those things. Let's break them and see. When we jump, I'll start charging up my pup's strength. I just need to press X and hold down, and then take aim. When he's at full strength, I'll go in and let her rush. Okay, sounds easy enough to me. Alright, hold down X. And then wee! Woo, I busted through! Where's your air horn? Here. I don't know why the air horn would be broken. Maybe it's because y'all were redeeming so much. Here, just for you. There you go. Well, it's, hey, Dons, to be fair, Scooter paid for it, so you can just suck it, dude. turn your volume down or something if it's that big of an issue. I knew it, I used B to call them back to me with my whistle. Morale got really low, and one member tried to raise it by saying never back down, never what, and one of our guys responded in a really dejected tone, I'm gonna kill my- Oh my lord, that's awful. It actually wasn't loud. Well, to be fair, I did add a limiter to the audio, I believe. Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? That's probably why. Because here, it was, whoops. Hold on. It's filters, limiter. Yeah. I did have a limiter on it. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it is set. I forgot that I added a limiter so it wouldn't, like, blow y'all's eardrums out. I made it to where it'll be, it'll cut out if it goes beyond the sound level of about where my voice is, so that it wouldn't blow y'all's ears out. I totally forgot that that was something I added. So, y'all should be okay here. Actually, bring it down a little more, like... I'll do it like that. Okay. Just wish I knew why the Pikmin ran away and hid in the first place. Huh, I better make a note of this in my voyage log. Record and log. You never know when this kind of information will prove useful. See, I don't know anything about, Destiny. It doesn't interest me. When I arrived at this area, the Pikmin started acting quite strange. They flew out of the onion and immediately hid. I can't find my spaceship parts. I'm gonna have to wear my glasses for this, y'all, but... Oh wow, I can see now. Crazy. I was like, the TV's too far away. I can't read the text very well. I'm struggling. I'd recommend you play it if I could without feeling trouble. I don't do grindy games. I'm telling you that right now. And I know that's what it is. I don't do grindy, like, crawlers. I suppose I'll just keep looking for them and call them back using my whistle. Alright, sounds good. I need to find my missing ship parts, but it'll be much easier if I have more Pikmin to help me. Alright, well, I guess we'll go find them. Wait, I can jump using X. Okay, so I can't jump that high, I guess. No parts around here? Okay. Oh. Little Pikmins! Where are you? Is anyone hiding? Oh, there are some hiding. Hello, little guys. At least I have a few more Pikmin now. Yes, we do. It's not the grindiness, it's the fact you have to drop like 200 if you actually want to play. What the? Yeah, no, I would not play a game like that. Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, here's a guy also. Oh, I don't like this orientation. I'm gonna have to get used to the controls. I'm not used to playing games using a controller. One good rush, break these. Whoops. DLC goes hard on my wallet. I can imagine. Like I said, that kind of game is not for me. Okay. Well, I got those. And there was... Yeah, I got all the Pikmin there. Okie dokie. Making sure there's no other ones hiding anywhere. Can I look up too? I can. I feel like I can almost look up there, but not quite. At this point, I'm way too invested in the story to stop now. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but... Nothing here? Dang. Alright, okay, I get it. I get it, Olimar. Let's go. Alright. If I'm gonna bomb 200, it's gonna be on ammo. Yeah, that's your expensive hobby. Don't look before you leap? What do you mean? Why not? What's wrong with looking before you leap? I don't know. Okay, well, Pikmins! Hi guys! Come on! Alright, well we got those. For me that's cards. I can do any of that gotcha stuff. Alright. There is a lot going on here. Alright, hello little Pikmins! Where are you? Oh! There's some! Come on guys! Let's go! And then y'all too. Alright. We are making our way downtown, walking fast. Man, I really cannot jump very high, can I? What the heck? I really cannot jump high at all. Okay, can I jump on this book? No. There's a little ramp. I guess, are they above us? Oh, I thought I saw a Pikmin run this way. Why does the dog have a laser? Oh, that's just my reticule. So that I can see, like, where I'm pointing. I have to collect more Pikmin. So it's basically just my cursor. Okay, oh. Rush. Bada bing, bada boom. More Pikmin. Oh wow, that's a lot? A lot of what? Oh! Sorry, I missed the message. On Steam alone, I've dumped... Oh, jeez, Talon! Oh my gosh. But I can't say much because, you know, my League addiction and all. Just tap X to jump over any small ledges. This is not a small ledge, so... Oh, what the heck? Oh, this one is what he's talking about. Honestly, for 200 you get a really nice 22 level connection. Oh, Scooter. Not everyone is into the guns and stuff like you. Oh, wait. Oh, that's so cool! They're like sliding down it like a slide. There we go. And then as these blue ones come also, ta-da! Or a good landfall card? Oh no. Okay, there has to be a ship part around here somewhere. Okay. This is the perfect situation to rely upon my pup's power nose. Track down one of those ship parts, girl. Alright, I guess we're sniffing it out. We need to stay on that scent. Oh! Well, there we go. Using that, I have to keep track of scent. Whoops! Oh! I threw the Pikmin on accident. Wait, why is that Pikmin not getting up? Oh, there he goes. Okay, so I guess I just gotta go down. Okay, so I just gotta follow this smell. You better be able to get cosmetics for that dog. So this is not the dog I'm gonna have the entire game. This is like the tutorial area. I do know that much. The dog I'm gonna get is actually going to be yellow. And his name is gonna be Uchi. And so, this is not the character I'll be playing as either. I'm afraid I left some Pikmin behind, so... Yeah, I definitely did. I should tap X to jump and climb up. There we go. Oh, cool. I'll call those guys. I do want a gun, but there are reasons I cannot acquire them. Or acquire at the moment. Lordy, lordy. I cannot read. Oh, hey, there's even Pikmin under there. Hello, little guys. I know y'all are having a party, but, come on, it's time to go. I wonder if there's some in the grass. I would hide in the grass if I was a little Pikmin. Oh, they literally were in the grass. I have plenty of Pikmin now. Okay, I'm assuming that means I have them all? Maybe? No, I can't have them all already. I don't know, maybe I do. Okay, well we gotta come up here anyways, so I guess I'll figure it out soon enough. Oh! Alright, it's time to fight and hopefully not lose all of my Pikmins. The spiky things are gonna make this tough. I have to find an opening. Maybe I should use X to build up energy so we can rush the creature when the time is right. In the meantime, let's circle it and wait for a chance to strike. Alright, I will do my best. I want some help with picking out a gun for you. I'd be happy to help Talon. Whoa! Oh! Okay. I'm making him use up all his stupid little spikes. Okay. Oh! Okay. Oh man, I'm so stupid. Alright, we're good. I did it. It took me a second. I'm so bad with controller controls that I have a really hard time, like, managing all the buttons and joysticks, whatever. But I did it! So, good for me. Oh, dude, I can't trust myself to not repeat my... Ugh. Well, you'll get there one day, Talon. Just hang in there, buddy. Alright. Let us see. Partially jokes, but intrusive thoughts go hard. Nah, dude. I'm sure we all get it. To some extent or another, so... Just take care of yourself. That's what's the most important. Drink some of my tea again. Alright. Attach the latest version of my voyage log. Pick up to the remote planet. Okay, so we're done with the tutorial, so now I'll be able to make my own character and stuff. Oh, dude, my shoulder hurts. I'd also have to get an ID card first to shoot the state I live in, which isn't too hard, just minor annoyance. Yeah, they make that stuff really inconvenient. Double shipwrecks are rare and extremely unlucky. At this point, you might think that all hope was lost. There was one last rescue officer left at Rescue Corps HQ, a rookie, you. That's right, you were my last hope. Emergency mission loading! Rescue the Rescue Corps. We don't have anything like that here? Yeah, it just kind of depends on where you live and how tight the regulations are. Governments the purchase, ownership, and transport of guns. Yeah, like, I live in Texas, so, you know, yeehaw, we love shooting stuff, so there's less here. Dude, the sad part is, though, because of the sheer amount of gun shows and things like that, you don't even need your ID 90% of the time. Like, to the point it's become a legitimate issue. You just walk into a firearm shop and like, yo, I'm gonna buy this. And they're like, okay, here you go. We're not gonna run a background check. We're not gonna look at your ID. We're not gonna do anything. It's fine. We trust you, bro. Everything's hell strict. Yeah, it really just depends on where you are. The South tends to be pretty lax. Following emergency protocol, all officers were directed to evacuate the spaceship immediately. Finding the dispersed Rescue Corps is now your top priority. Create your ID badge and deploy immediately. Yay! Character customization. Okay. Alright, well, I'm pale. See, I just don't like these body types. But I'm gonna be small. I kind of like those eyes the best. Like, that's me, but I feel like this is more me. This slightly more feminine version. And then for my hair. What is this hair? Like a bowl cut, bro. Yeah. I'm assuming this is meant to be a feminine version, but I just don't like how it looks. Like, from the back, it looks kind of awkward. So yeah, I'll just be going with this. And then purple hair, obviously. What do the other colors look like, though? Those lips are something not gonna... Yo, chill. Okay. Let's get some purple hair. And then the purple spacesuit is, I mean, it makes it a lot of purple. Like, everything's purple. So let's see. Yeah, I'll just go pink. To my name, Karma. Okay. Ready to deploy? Okay. Look at me. Here in Wisconsin, you don't always need your ID, only if you go to a gun store. Gun shows are different, as you don't need an ID. Yeah, that's how it is here. Alrighty, let's go! Not only my fate, but the fate of the rescue corps. Dude, my back hurts so bad, but y'all, I'm getting the coolest bed frame delivered tomorrow. Oh my lord. I am so excited. Like, y'all don't even understand. It's gonna be insane. It was really expensive. I was going to... Is it hamburger shaped? What? What are you talking about? Hamburger shaped? You need to be 18 to buy rifle ammo and 21 to buy pistol. Yeah. No, what I was gonna say is I'm getting a new bed frame. I was going to buy a new mattress because my current mattress is like, it was a crappy cheap one, and it's gotten to the point where it's just falling apart. Oh, Hamburger's been here hot word for a couple weeks. All good, Talon. But yeah, so I was gonna get a new mattress because the one I originally had, I've only had it for like 2 years, but my parents bought it for me like really cheap. It was like one of those Amazon mattresses. And so it doesn't last very long. So basically it's like, I'm assuming the inside is kind of broken down because it's like some kind of foam mattress type situation. So when I lay in it, like there's absolutely zero support, and so like it's created kind of a dip, if you know what I mean. If you've ever had a bed like that, you know exactly what I mean. And it's been causing me a lot of pain recently. And, so I went to a mattress store with full intention of just buying a new mattress because, you know, Labor Day just passed and everything, so we had, like, Labor Day sales and everything to definitely help with the price. When my sister moved, she left me her purple mattress, and it took... The purple mattresses are so expensive, dude. I even looked at them in the mattress store. Ochi! But I looked at them in the mattress store. Mattresses are just expensive in general. And I was like, man, like, went in there with our budget and everything. And, I was like, man, I like these mattresses. But of course, you know, I wanted to get one with a deal. But the ones that felt the best were like 2K. And I was like, man, 2K is a lot. But, you know, a mattress is definitely an investment. So after I looked at all of those mattresses, I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like, am I just gonna drop the extra money? And then, alright, I guess we'll go. Oh, call him. Okay. Oh. What? Oh, I sent him like that. Okay. Well, I went in, so after I looked at all the mattresses, he's like, oh, look at this cool bed frame. Like, I just want to show you something real quick. Laid out on this bed, and he's like, this is an adjustable bed frame. And I was like, okay, I guess. And in my head, I was like, well, you know, I don't really need a, like, bed frame or anything. Like, my mattress, I've just been sleeping on a mattress on the floor, which I know isn't, like, the best, but you know, it works. Like, if I'm gonna drop 2K on a mattress, like, I don't want to spend more on a bed frame, and even then, it's like, yeah, an adjustable one, that's just so much extra money. Thank the stars, I wasn't sure that my SOS signal had reached HQ. You and Ochi found and rescued me together? That's actually quite surprising. I've never known Ochi to listen to anyone other than our captain. Oh, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Colin, communications operator for the rescue corps. Blah, blah, blah. She's handy with the wrench. Or he. I swear, I can't read. I'm illiterate. I don't know how I read that as she. I, like, switched the S around. Might have put Colin, the rescue corps comms operator. That's one down. Now where could the other rescue officers be? I don't know, but we'll find them. My path got cut off by a small landslide, and when my hunger became unbearable, I decided to nap to preserve my stamina. You're our latest recruit, right? It's Karma, isn't it? I couldn't be more grateful for you rescuing me. As I mentioned before, I was the one who sent out that emergency signal. The rest of the rescue corps, well, it was a rough landing. We entered the planet's atmosphere and lost control of the ship. What happened? I have no idea. There were 6 officers on the ship, but we were separated when we ejected from the spacecraft. We came here to find Captain Olimar, whose own ship had crashed, only to suffer the same fate. It's almost embarrassing. I've confirmed that our spaceship, the SS Shepherd, landed somewhere over there. But I couldn't reach it on my own. Now that you're here, maybe we can find a way back to it. You didn't really miss anything, Dons. I created my character, and now we're playing the actual game and not the tutorial. So basically, I'm going and rescuing, like, the rest of my crew that crashed. And this is, like, the head dude. And if we're lucky, we'll come across a few stranded rescue officers along the way. So yeah, you're here perfect timing, Dons. Before I forget, take this. It's an official Rescue Corp tablet. We use them to share information. Thank goodness I always carry an extra. Tap on the left side there to open and review your missions. Okay. There we go. You can use this app anytime to confirm what tasks are top priority. I have some other handy apps to share, but I'll install them later when we have a moment to rest. For now, just remember that you can always tap to view missions, but if you press minus in shortcut settings, you can assign different functions. Okay. Alright. Now then, let's go find the SS Shepherd. Perfect! Okay. As I was saying, though, Ochi's so small. So I went there and after looking at all the 2K mattresses... Oh, nope, there's gonna be more dialogue, isn't there, actually? Hold on, I'll get back to my story in a moment. There she is, the SS Shepherd. I can see the ship, but I have no idea how we're going to reach it from here. You know, there's something familiar about this area. I remember something. It's just up ahead. Let's go. Alright, we'll head to. The plants on this planet are gigantic. Yes, they are. Always make sure the area is safe with R. That I will. Everything looks pretty good. Look, that's it. See that big hole in the ground over there? If we could only find a way there, then we could finally reunite with the SS Shepherd. Can Ochi, like, do that? There we go. Alright, he's digging it up for us. This is a perfect job for a rescue pup. They're known for being excellent diggers. Good pup, Ochi. You're making easy work of all that dirt. Almost there. Hooray! He did it! You can see why rescue pups are the rescue corp's pride and joy. Huh. This looks just like the other hole we saw. Well done, OG. I wonder if these two holes are somehow connected underground. Probably so. It looks pretty deep. We're just gonna have to dive right in. Let's do it. That's the spirit. Here we go. I bet he could dig faster. Push him harder. No, don't be mean to Ochi. Though it does look pretty dark down there. Ochi's a good boy. Alright, let's go. Oh, my neck. Alright, let's see here. I have such a bad habit of, like, I'm trying to read this dialogue and stuff, so I never actually get around to, like, finishing my story. Oh! Hey, Ash! Welcome in! Thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, what is it, Ochi? He's trying to tell us something. Perhaps another rescue officer is down here. Lurk? Alright, no problem, Ash. Take care of yourself. Okay. So we are in here now. Alrighty. Got a little... Oh, looks like a dead end. Well, obviously, dude. I'm just trying to look around, man. Okay, well, that looks not great. Oh my, what a place to find the captain. That terrified individual you see over there is the captain of our rescue corps team. Look sharp, Karma. The captain comes from a long line of rescue officers. Oh, this is no time for a history lesson. Hurry up and do something. Alright, I will, attempt to... Okay. Alright, I guess I'll just take care of them. I am helping you, lady. Chill out. What a captain. There, you're helped. Dang. And them slugs, yeah. Phew, now we can relax a bit. Captain, we took care of the creatures down here. Can you get down? I hope so. My arms are almost numb. I've been hanging on so long. Okay, I can do this. Let's go! Okay, I guess that's one way to get down. What's your status, Colin? Are you okay? Shouldn't I be asking you that? I'm just relieved to see you're alright. Oh, you. I haven't seen you since rookie training camp. I'm Captain Shepard of the Rescue Corps, if you don't remember. Did you order Ochi to get rid of those creatures all by yourself, Karma? Huh. Ochi's not supposed to obey anyone but me. Guess that rookie training paid off after all, didn't it? You know, the first time I saw you in training, I had a feeling you'd make a top-notch dog trainer. Coolio. She was saved by a rescue pup as a child, sparking a lifelong love for her furry colleagues. Nice. We found Captain Shepard. With the captain here, it feels like there may be some hope for us after all. Already feeling good about this, Captain? Glad to hear it. Sorry to interrupt, Captain, but what were you doing down here anyway? While exploring the surface, I discovered a suspicious hole. I leaned over to take a look inside and fell right in. I wandered around this cave trying to find an exit when I came up on those icky, slimy creatures. Hang on, did you fall down the hole located near the SS Shepherd? We entered this cave in an attempt to reach that very opening. Well then, what are we waiting around here for? Let's get back to the SS Shepherd. Copy that. Is something wrong? You didn't say anything, Karma. Copy that is the Rescue Corps' way of saying understood. Let's try saying it together, okay? Okay. Copy that. Copy that. Very good. Excellent reply. That said, you'll need to review the Rescue Corps' Rescue Journal for your upcoming missions. It's essential to our work. This is where you'll find advice left by captains, both past and present. I've no doubt the knowledge and wisdom they share will guide you well. Solid copy, sir. Alright. Coolio. I guess clear that just so I don't have to see the new thing. Alright. You'll be able to access them via your tablet as the need arises, so put them to good use while out in the field. Since Ochi and you have bonded, I officially approve of your partnership. I'll be observing you both to see what skills you have as a rescue pup trainer. This captain is gonna take us places? Yeah, I mean, hopefully so. Fight the conundrum? Not at all. There you go, and boom! Good job, Ochi! That was quite a rush. Alright, let's head in here. Oh, it said something new on the tablet? Oh, the map. Cool. Alrighty. I remember, this area. Okay, so there's that there. Oh, I just completely jumped off. That's fine. Everything's fine. I thought it was gonna be a new area. Nope, it just made me go back to where I was. Alright, let's head out of here. Perfect. When does dog get big? I don't know. But I know we're eventually, like, he grows big enough to ride him, so I don't know. There, that's where I fell in. My word, to think you survived a fall from that height. More importantly, how are we supposed to climb up there? Hey, there's something under the light. Yeah. Let's go. Man, Captain is such a ting. Alrighty. Upsy daisy. Now we should be able to get to the ship, and we'll see what that entails. Do 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 do. Yeah, we're not even in like the main part of the game yet. This is all context. I suggest you exercise a bit more caution when encountering something unfamiliar. Maybe don't just touch it. I completely agree, though in this case, your impulsive behavior did get us out of that cave. Alright, Captain, the Rescue Corps flag has been officially planted. Touch everything. I mean, I have a bad habit of doing that in games. I touch everything, pick up everything, I don't know. And now for the status report on all cave-related activities. We located and rescued one castaway and no other individuals were found during our search. Noted. Now let's consider the investigation of this cave complete. I hope this experience will help you prepare for the challenges inherent to our work. Oh, my back itches. Hold on, y'all. Ugh. Their lives depending on us. But you both did good work today. Well done, Karma and Ochi. I guess we're just gonna have to skip right over the fact that we had to rescue the captain herself. Colin, you look different since the last time I saw you. Did you do something new with your hair? I don't think so. I've been a bit busy trying to, you know, stay alive. Of course. And good for you. You did it. Well, here she is, the SS Shepherd. So I have zero knowledge about Pikmin as a series outside of they're tiny and are gimmicky and smash. Yeah, so basically, this is Earth, like a dystopian Earth. I don't currently have any Pikmin because I'm still in the beginning of the game. Like, not quite tutorial, but not quite the actual game yet. But yeah, they're those little dudes. They're native to this planet. And they like to carry around things. And oh, I thought you were supposed to have crashed solo on some planet. Why are there so many people here now? Okay, so in Pikmin 4 specifically, there's actually a rescue crew. So everyone crashed and I'm going around and I'm finding the rescue crew. So that's specific to Pikmin 4. In all of the other games, yes, you were like crashing solo and you played as Olimar or whatever, but yeah, no, in this game, like there's a crew and I'm going around rescuing them and I've found 2 people so far. And then this was our ship, like we're all part of the same crew. Is that smoke pouring out of the SS Shepherd? Beautiful. I'll investigate right away. Famous last words. But yeah, so the little Pikmin are native. They're cute little dudes, and they like run around and they help us, and it's pretty cool, yeah. Status report. Upon investigating the interior of the ship, I discovered the engine had overheated, and that the spaceship was seconds away from total destruction. What? Oh no, will it be okay? It will. I initiated an emergency shutdown and everything's stable. Thankfully, the engine can be repaired. However, that ship's energy stores are now completely empty. So we have no way of getting off this planet, let alone searching for Captain Olimar. I mean, it sounds like you saved the captain and some goonish secretary. That must be enough people. Why not just bail away after your friends? Nah! We gotta find everyone. Well, Captain Olimar is, like, the most important dude we gotta find. Everyone else is kind of... So basically, Captain Olimar crashed alone on the planet. And then the Rescue Corps came to save him. And, but then the Rescue Corps also crashed. So now I'm here to rescue the Rescue Corps and Captain Olimar, which was the initial goal, basically. Why does an alien ship have an SS, which stands for States Ship as in the United States? Well, I don't know, my guy. That's just how it works, I guess. Not necessarily. I think I saw something in Captain Olimar's voyage log that may prove useful. Here it is. Take a look at this. Oh my goodness. Yawn. I found treasure. After thorough investigation into the shiny objects found on this planet, I've deduced that they must contain sparklium. I feel giddy to have found real-life treasure, but my focus must remain on the objective, finding the missing parts of the SS Dolphin. I see. Obviously they base in the US. No, they're on their own little planet. In layman's terms, We should be able to extract sparklium from sparkling objects that we find on this planet and convert it into energy. Typical RPG stuff. We can't solve our own problems. Can you do everything? I mean, I guess, yeah. But that's how, I don't know, that's just how the game goes. They have to have context somehow. Otherwise, there would be no reason for it coming in the first place. I mean, that's 3 ships now that they've sent to one planet and 2 of 3 crashed. Well, Ash, the captain is different. Some bad pilots. Well, there's actually lore regarding that, Ash. As to why they crash. I'm not gonna get into all of it, but there's actually lore as to why. And basically what it boils down to is there is something, like, whenever they try to dock on this planet, it, like, you know, slaps the ships out of the sky, and then they crash. So, I'm not gonna get into all of that, but it's, like, something along those lines. But there's, like, an entity that just, like, smacks the rockets, and it's like, no, F you. And, yeah. They can be used to restart and restore the SS Shepherd. Those objects truly are nothing short of real-life treasures. You have a problem, you fix it, F you. You're allowing us to do everything. I'm skeptical. But at this point, we have nothing to lose. This may be our only chance. So from this point on, we have a new mission. Find and collect all the sparkly objects we can. Oh yeah, that's also part of it, is we literally can't fly our ship, because our ship is broken. So we need to at least get sparklium in order to, like, get our ship up and running so we can leave. So from this point on, we have a new mission. Find and collect all the sparkly objects we can. Copy that. Oh wait, yeah, no, I'm in part of this rescue mission. So no, it's not 3 ships, it's 2 ships. I got confused. Yeah, no, we're all on the same crew. I crashed with them. So these people are like my crewmates that I crashed with, and I found them 2, and so our ship is broken, and we still gotta go find Captain Olimar. Apparently, sparkly objects can be used as an energy source. Located as many as you can. Cool. Once we collect this treasure, we'll need a way to transport it. For that, we can use the SS Beagle. Oh man. I keep yawning. I took my medicine, but I'm still yawning. We just need a good place for it to land. Huh? What's that over there? So shiny. Maybe it's some sort of landmark, but I'm not completely sure. It looks like the perfect spot for a base of operations. Call the ship over. Yeah, a convenient little circle. SS Beagle repositioning successful. Good, our preparations are complete. Let's find that treasure. Alrighty. See anything sparkly around here? Oh, yep, there we go. A little sparkly fork-looking thing. Is that what I think it is? This has to be a treasure. Just look at the way it sparkles. Let's check the tablet to see if it's emitting a high energy rating. Alright, rookie. Press to open radar map. Okay. Oh, plus. Okay, presence of sparklium confirmed. That star in the center represents the treasure. From now on, you can consult your radar map to check if there's any treasure in your area. Okay, cool. So, got that. But I just hate seeing the pop-up where it's like, new. This is Captain Olimar. I'm currently stranded at an unknown planet in the far reaches of space. I'm in dire need of assistance. Please send help. Cool. Excellent work. I'm gonna take this auspicious start as a good sign. But, how are we gonna move it? Well, we're gonna have Ochi do it, obviously. Perfect! You go, Ochi! Excavation completed. Excellent, it's on the move. When does this game take place? The past, the present? I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming it's going to be, like, the future, because we're on Earth right now. The future? And, like, because everything's kind of destroyed. So basically, the only life here on the planet is like the Pikmin and then like the little monster dudes. Like, there's no humans or anything, and there's obviously like this little fort thing is a relic of humanity, but there's no humans left. So that leads me to believe that it would be the future. Because everything is kind of like overgrown and stuff. So this is like humans are out of the picture. The treasure is large. How can we physically collect something this big? The ship uses a special type of light ray that miniaturizes objects during collection, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'll examine it with the sensors on the SS Beagle right away. Let's hope it contains the type of energy we need. What happened to humans? I don't know, dude. I really don't. I don't know all of the lore of, like, Pikmin. Like, I know some of it, but I definitely don't know all of it. Yes, energy detected. Well, to be fair, I don't think these guys even know what humans are. So, they wouldn't know. The Pikmin? Yeah, I think there's theories about that or something like that's kind of all it's... I don't know, man. I'm gonna be real with you. If we collect 250 more units of Sparklium, we may be able to restart the Shepherd. But the SS Shepherd is supposed to run on high-octane energy. Will this work? I believe we can get it to run on Sparklium alone, though it may be a bumpier ride. They ate the humans? Dude, look how tiny the Pikmin are. Like, oh, I guess you can't see them right now, but you saw the Pikmin in the house. You really think Pikmin are gonna be able to eat humans, dude? It would take like 1 million Pikmin to maybe eat one singular person, let alone like 7, 8 billion. Pikmin crawled up our butts and killed us Ant-Man style. No, that's awful. I don't want to think of that. But before that can happen, we're gonna need a lot more. Then we need to search the area for more treasure. Alright, we'll search for treasure. I guess we'll just have to wander around and see if we can figure it out. Okay. So now we're almost getting to the game, I guess. I still don't have Pikmin, so... Oh! There we go. Oh! Can I, like... I don't know. I don't think I can throw them all the way up there. So am I gonna have to, like, find a way around? Because I don't think I can just send him up there, because he's not gonna be able to jump up that high. Pikmins decided to cleanse the earth, and that meant humans had to go. I mean, oh, there we go, a little onion, a Pikmin onion. Now I can have the Pikmin. What's this? Is it a treasure? Ochi, go! So now I can get the little Pikmins. Very nice. Now those would get scared by the thunderclap. Oh lord. Y'all, I can't. You got this, Ochi! Go, go, go! You're doing so good, you're so strong! Good job, Ochi! Oh! There it goes! Got Pikmin roll credits? No! No! Huh? It moved. I don't think it's a treasure. What could it be? It looks kind of like a plant. Could this be that thing Captain Olimar wrote about in his voyage log? He called it an onion. If this is an onion, then what is that sprout? So no 45 HP would sprout. Oh lord. We're not gonna shoot the Pikmin or talk about killing Pikmin, y'all. It's Steve! Canonically, because like the first Pikmin is always a red one, and he's like different than the others, so canonically like the first Pikmin's Steve. They would eat the bullets. What is up with you and saying the Pikmin are eating everything? Oh my, I think this could be a Pikmin. According to Captain Olimar's voyage log, they're friendly and helpful creatures. Well then, maybe they can help us while we explore and look for treasure. Look at that. Oh, she's already bonding with the Pikmin. You should introduce yourself as well, Karma. And, Captain, how long do you intend to hide back there? They have acidic saliva? Shut up, Dons. Not take him out. Okay, I can select which Pikmin I'm using. Okay, cool. Get your little Pikmin discs. Perfect. So we can plant more Pikmin. This is how we're gonna plant Pikmin for now. Alrighty. And our new Pikmin appeared. What? More sprouts! The red seed-like thing is apparently called a pellet. If you feed one to the onion, it'll create more Pikmin. What a mysterious life form. Yes, so I can pick the little Pikmins now. Perfect. And now I have 3 of them, so I can go through and then... Oh! Okay, Pikmin. Okay, so I'll let him go grab that one. And if I use a Pikmin of the same color to pick up the pellet, then I will get double Pikmin. So that's the bonus to having like a... Because obviously there's different colors of Pikmin, which will be important in the future, but I'm not so much right now. Alright. Pluck the Pikmin, pluck the Pikmin. And then... pluck... Okay, there we go. This stuff's weird. Nah. That's a lot of Pikmin. Oh, no. No, I keep forgetting I have to, like... change the, like, Pikmin thingies, because it keeps defaulting back to Ochi. Because I use up all my Pikmin, and I forget. Okay, there's one more over here. Right. And then I'll have that Pikmin grab that one. And we should have all the ones in the area, so then I can come over here and start grabbing this stuff, maybe. Right, and I had the perfect amount to get them to pick up that treasure for me. Awesome. So I can come over here and pluck my new Pikmin. Building an army precisely. You gotta get those numbers up. Alright, so those were bringing a treasure there. Where was the other one? I remember seeing it. Oh, it's this way. See, they're bringing it over. I see something sparkly way up there. Yes, I'm aware. Can I... Oh, wait, I have an idea. Okay, so if I get Ochi to rush into this, will it knock it down? Yes, it did! Perfect! Hey, Hale, welcome in! And yes, it is Pikmin time. Look, it's a Game Boy! That was close. And then we'll grab some little Pikmins. Alright, y'all go pick that up. And then I should have these guys, and y'all can help out. Oh, I did not mean to make you run over there though, bro. Okay. Ta-da! Alright, everything has been turned in now. Huzzah! You two make a fantastic combination. Karma and Ochi. Thanks a bunch. Yes, yes. Keep up the good work. How? How what? That thing was massive? Well, they're really strong, okay? They're really, really strong. It's not that massive. It's literally a Game Boy. It could have been nothing. Dawns, they literally explained that. They said it has a miniaturizer laser that makes everything mini so it can easily get sucked in. The question, I know you gotta fight stuff. I'm not one to side with Dawns, but how do Pikmin fight stuff? So they quite literally, they just like bang their heads like over and over, and cause blunt force trauma. Like, that sounds really messed up, but that's quite literally what they do. You weren't here for that earlier, Ash. But it quite literally just boom, boom, boom. And then after, like, enough headbutts, it dies. So, that's it. Now it's time to extract the energy from the treasure. See, that's how they killed the humans. They just swarmed them and headbutt them. Oh, Lord. Alright, well the ship should be good. Energy from the treasure will soon be extracted. It'll flow directly into the SS Shepherd. They would headbutt the gun, yeah. They should have evolved horns then. That attack method makes no sense. Ash, I don't make the rules. I'm gonna be honest with you. Believe it or not, I actually did not create the Pikmin franchise, nor the lore or character design. You wouldn't stand a chance. Dude, maybe they have... Oh, I guess they do have their little pointy nose. Close enough to horn. We restored the SS Shepherd using the spark we extracted from the treasure.
Hello, hello.
Shocked Pikachu. We did it, the ship's back online. We still don't have enough energy to fly, but now we can use the radar to look for our missing rescue officers. The rock guys are cool? Yeah, I do like the rock guys. My favorite are the little white Pikmins. Excellent, call it, boot it up, and see if we can pick up any signals. Yeah, there's different types of Pikmin dons. We'll see it as we continue to play the game, and I'll slowly unlock. But each Pikmin has its own kind of shtick. So the red are fire resistant, the yellow are, resistant to, or I guess immune is a better word. Red is immune to fire, yellow to electricity, blue is, can go in water and won't die. The rocks are... I forgot the rock special thing. It's not that they're stronger, because the purple ones are the strong ones. Purple ones are strong, white ones are fast, pink ones fly. I think... Oh, rock ones, they smash stuff, I believe. I think that's what it is, because, so, they don't have the strength in the sense of carrying, but they, smash stuff because they're hard. Yes, there are ice guys, also, and they can, freeze water. I was trying to remember all the Pikmin types off the top of my head. Yeah, there's a lot. And they are all so cute. I'm picking up multiple SOS signals. They could be coming from our lost rescue officers, and even Captain Olaf. We don't have a moment to lose. Time to get rescuing. Coolio. I saw some other new ones, but I don't know what to call them. Yeah, specific to Pikmin 4, there's also Glow Pikmin. Yeah. That's interesting. The ship is automatically naming the objects. Oh, Noble Biden, Path Creator, and Stone of Advancement. I see. Wait, Karma? What do you mean? What did I do? What happened to Rim and Glaceon? No comment. No, it's just because I remade my overlays and, I, completely reset my OBS and stream setup. So, I basically wiped everything and made a completely new instance, so I have not added them back because I completely forgot, I'm gonna be completely honest, that I even had them there because I was starting from scratch. That's interesting, it's naming them. We encounter unknown objects and elements on our missions all the time, so I had a naming AI installed on our new ships. She told me to do it, the money was good. No! Oh? What is this? Deny. Whoa, this is cool. Twitch has a smart detection message thingy. So it scans the messages and I just got a spam message by someone in our chat. And it automatically with AI was oh, this could be spam because it was one of the oh, I'll promo your stuff and you'll get followers. And so it automatically flagged the message and let me choose to allow or deny it. So that's pretty cool. It makes it a little bit easier for me to moderate my stuff. Apparently it was co-created by a famous appraiser. It's more sophisticated than I expected. Pretty impressive. It's about time they added that. I know, it's new. It's in beta apparently, Hale, because it had a little beta tag. And it's called smart detection. So it flagged it and automatically held it rather than me having to go through and do anything myself. And it was we think this, oh sorry, I blurred. They're it might be bad, so let us know. I streamed a week ago and it didn't have that. I don't know, man. I normally don't get much spammy stuff, so it might be brand new for all I know. I mean, I got auto-murdered twice. What? That's because you say, overly violent things, and then they're maybe not. It's neat, but a backup power source probably would have been more helpful. Okay. I was worried when I saw the smoke billowing out of the SS Shepherd. I didn't know how things would shake out. Thank goodness we were able to make the repairs. I'd been roughing it for long enough. And there's something to be said for finally having a properly prepared meal. Are you sure we have enough emergency rations, Colin? We have no idea how long we'll be stuck on this planet. Twitch doesn't like guns, I guess? Yeah, I mean, I don't think they do. Most places don't. At least talking about it so openly. Counted our stock 3 times, but I can do it again. Excellent plan. Now, tomorrow we'll focus on a recon, so you and Ochi need to eat and get lots of rest, Karma. Twitch doesn't like anything that could be remotely offensive. Exactly. Especially because, Twitch can be accessed from all around the world, so, like, it has to have... it literally modded you again. Yeah. See... Here, I'll just allow the message this once. So, yeah, that's exactly what Scooter said right there. I just approved the message. And so, obviously it doesn't like threats of violence. Even if it's not in reference to a person, it doesn't know that. It just knows you said to. Excellent plan. Now tomorrow we'll focus, get lots of rest, but don't forget to review your missions before heading to bed. Alright, sounds good. Alright, well, easy peasy. I just realized I never got to finish my story I was telling earlier. I got like halfway through. Like, I only finished saying the context. Yeah, there were a reasonable thing not to like, yeah, definitely. But I only got done, like, saying the context of my story and didn't get to the actual story. Alright, I guess this is everyone. I got the strategy meeting to order. Copy that. Here's the latest status report. As of today, 2 rescue officers and 1 rescue pup have been recovered thanks to the efforts of Karma. However, the whereabouts of the other 4 rescue officers remain unknown and the SS Shepherd is out of commission. All things considered, our primary mission, the rescue of Captain Olimar, has run into some roadblocks. Our first priority is now the search and rescue of our fellow rescue officers. Karma, Ochi, fly to the area where our raider picked up those distress signals and try to track down our missing personnel. Colin and I will remain with the ship. We'll provide direction and guidance from here. Don't worry, we'll be available via the SS Shepherd's wireless communications at all times, so you'll have our full support. Captain could have saved herself, we just made it easier for her. Oh lord. I wouldn't typically assign so much responsibility to a rookie, but after seeing you in action, I know you can handle it. Plus, you'll be in good paws with Ochi by your side. You two make a great team. Captain, what about our search for Captain Olimar? Should we officially put it on pause? No. We may still find him during our hunt for the rescue officers. Oh, Lord Scooter. I'll keep it on our mission list, just in case. On that note, I hereby call the strategy meeting to a close. Copy that. Captain Olimar, shipwrecked on this unknown planet, discovers whereabouts while you search for missing rescue corps officers. Sounds good to me. Alright, are you free to chat? I guess. You'll be pleased to learn that I installed a few new apps onto your tablet. I'm sure you'll find them more than useful when you're out in the field, so check them out when you have a spare minute. Now that we have that sorted out, are you ready to get out of here and explore? Ready to explore. Alrighty. It looks like there might be a missing rescue officer here. We need to get out there and find them. Alright, let's go! I'm gonna grip red Pikmin by the neck, purple Pikmin superior. Oh, lord. Hi, Serene. Welcome into the stream. How's it going today? It's been a while since I've seen you here. I do love the purple Pikmin. Personally, my favorite's the white Pikmin. But the purple ones are, like, right there. It's white and purple. Those are my favorites. Purple Pikmin are just... Yo! Be nice to the purple Pikmin. They're cute. They're cute. I can't wait to rescue Olimar from planet totally not Earth. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Doing good. Finished my 2.0 PNG tuber model. That's awesome, Serene. Nice to hear it. I know that can take a lot of work and effort, so it's always really nice to get that stuff done, and it just feels like super productive. That's how I felt whenever I got my new model that I'm currently using done. I second the fact claim. Ugh. Man, screw y'all. Y'all are so mean for no reason. "30 minutes left? I'm so ready to be out of work. I don't blame you, Ash. Work sucks, dude. So just take it easy. Vibe. There should be a limited edition Carmunism Pikmin. Dude, there should. Oh my lord. Like, considering, like, making a Carmunism Pikmin, getting some Carmunism as a Pikmin art or something. Or, oh my gosh, I could even get art commissioned me as one of the like, in my little suit. Oh, that would be so cute. No, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. I literally tried to make a Pikmin model for myself. What I did was I tried to like, so you see how I have my little astronaut like helmet thing? I tried to add that on my model, but unfortunately, I couldn't do transparency within Vroid, and I know I could have made it like work. I would have just like put my model back into Unity or something and added it instead, but I completely forgot about it, and since I like last second switched to Pikmin. I never did it, but I did want to make like a Pikminified version of myself. Turn like my little heart ahoge into like a Pikmin leaf or something. I don't know, man. Get your niece to draw it, duns. Come in, come in. This is Colin. Looks like you made it there in one piece. Hang on, I'll have the captain explain how today's rescue operations will work. It'll be super easy to do in Blender. Yeah, Blender's what I meant. Because I know that's what I did to fix like stuff with my model, because I was like, it would be easy to just plop it on there, because my first instinct is typically to go to Vroid just because that's where my model is based in. But I was like, yeah, I could just, especially because I've already ported stuff through Blender and everything, I could easily just add it in there. So, and you can make a PigTuber version, Pikmin PNG tuber. Yeah, you can also do a PNG stuff. Hang on, I'll have the captain explain how today's rescue operation will work. See the clock at the top left corner of your screen? It's set up so that the hand will reach the rightmost edge at the area's local sunset time. Search for our missing rescue officers during the day, but hustle back to the rescue command post after before dark. Copy that. We're counting on you. Oh, you probably noticed that the Onion accompanied the SS Beagle. According to the voyage log, the Onion also serves as a form of transportation for the Pikmin. We've got a lot to do and can take all the help we can get. I think you could put those Pikmin to good use. Probably so. Alright, call my Pikmin. I'll pull them all out. Oh, hey, question, did you pay for this game? This is my actual Switch. No, this is an actual Switch. Hatch. I have an OLED. Okay, if you need to complete a task, press A. Yes, this is a legit Switch. Okay, here's some Sparklium. I guess, can I just have them go? Sure, I see. Oh, not sure. It's literally an actual Switch. Karma got that premium Switch. Yeah, I literally have an OLED. That's a pretty rock, isn't it? It doesn't seem like treasure, but it might be useful. I'll check Captain Olimar's voyage logs. Why Pikmin would sell Boots of you wanted to think it's hilarious. I typically don't mod the chat too much. Like, as long as you're not saying something horrible, like, it's pretty fine with me. You know, like, behave yourselves, whatever. One can mistake the raw material for simple stone, but it is more common with amber and other fossilized biological matter. When heated, it melts into a brown clay and becomes malleable. I should be able to find many applications for it. I'm a fair hand with machines, but I don't know much about this material science. If we add our scientist back, I bet he'd be able to make good use of this. Collect it for now. He'll be excited to have something to work with after we find him. I'm always deletes my messages for no reason, don't believe it. Shut up, dude. I literally never delete your stuff. I don't delete anyone's stuff. Sometimes I, like, don't, whatchamacallit. Oh! Wait, will they continue to, like, go over there for me? That's dope! I didn't know that they would just, like, go right back to grab the rest of it. Be like me and say what's on your mind and get auto-modded? Yeah. I was like, I don't typically auto-mod anyone, but like, you should delete Dawn's messages now because it would be funny. Maybe whenever I'm not playing which game where I have to use my hands, it would make it a little easier. Just for the lulz. Alright, there we go. Alright. They got it. Yeah! Hail, I trusted you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we'll get that. Alright, are there any other ones around? I'm just kinda looking around at the moment. Come in, Karma. I forgot an important detail. That is, you're gonna need Ochi's help when it comes to searching for the rescue officers. Can't believe you're throwing me into the bus like this, oh no. He has a sharp sense of smell, so we'll be able to locate the rescue officers by tracking their scents. Use Y to open actions, and then use L to... Okay. To begin with, command Ochi to pick up a scent. You never know where his nose might lead you. Alright, seems easy enough. Rescue operations are a race against time, so put your Dandori skills to work to find our rescue officers quickly. First Mario Kart now this. You look a little confused. Have you never heard the term Dandori before, Karma? How to explain? Dandori is the art of organizing your tasks strategically and working with maximum efficiency to execute your plans quickly.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up!
Never back down, never what?
Never give up! This practice has fallen by the wayside in recent years, but it's still a core tenet of the rescue crew, so take it to heart. Embracing the art of Dandori is essential to our work. And you'll need it out there while searching for our rescue officers. Pikmin! Yes, little Pikmin sound. Hale's just jealous of your name, Dawn. People like Dawn, they don't like Hale. Oh my gosh. To get things started, open Y, command Ochi to sniff out your missing comrades. Alright. Sounds good. Command. Yes. And then pick up a scent. Follow the scent, Ochi. Okay. And he's following the scent. Perfect. Alright, I was gonna say, let's go grab our new Pikmin first. We'll see. Huh? Why isn't anything coming out? Judging from the life signs, it looks like Pikmin numbers have increased inside the onion, but then maybe Pikmin have evolved to self-limit how many can be out on the surface at a time to prevent unnecessary loss. So we need to know a few things as we begin this playthrough. Yeah, of course! Why is the dog looking? It's not a picture of a bomb. It's supposed to be like, he's looking for the rest of the rescue corps. It's supposed to be the helmet with like the little antenna on it. That's what it's supposed to be. What does each button do? And what are the bannable actions? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't actually look at the stuff right now. So I don't really know how the redeems are gonna work. I will have to look at that for next stream. Because there's not really any dying. Like, you can't really ban dying or something. I don't know, man. So, what are my points again? Let me see. What was number? So, family friendly, but I'm already like trying to be family friendly. Banning game action. Okay, so actions. There's throwing Pikmin like that. I don't know. I feel like that's not really gonna work in this game because it's very. I don't know. I have to come up with unique points system or something, or like redeems for the game because you can't really do the traditional stuff with this. There we go. Alright, and then I guess we'll just throw some Pikmin there to break that down. You could maybe put a Pikmin spread on your head. Yeah, definitely. I don't know, I don't trust that dog. He looks at things funny. Dog is weird. Dog is probably looking for a bomb. I can guarantee it. He's not looking for a freaking bomb, dude. I promise you. He's just trying to live his best life. There we go. Alright. Very good. I don't know what that is. Oh! No! Did you see that? It bloomed a flower. What's going on here? Huh. A substance is called nectar. When Pikmin consume it, it stimulates their growth, apparently. Voyage log says the more they grow, the faster they move. They really are mysterious creatures. Alright, I need all of y'all to, like, go drink it. Go drink it. Drink all the nectar. Perfect. Okay. You can make the Carvinism Pikmin into a PNG too. Yeah, I definitely could. I'll see with stuff, because obviously it takes time to make things, but yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Make a little PNG. I was thinking fan throwing to make you walk and explore. Yeah, I mean, that's technically, but that's kind of the only action there is in-game, really. Like, that's kind of like you have to. I don't know. We can just save points. Yeah, I was gonna say just save points on this playthrough. Like, this is very much a chill thing, you know? So I would say just save up your points, rack them up. Honestly, it's gonna be your best option. For whenever I play, like, a different game. Alright, so let's come back over here. Okay, one sec, y'all. Okay. Let's get... Where... I guess I can't really choose which Pikmin walk up to it. I just want the guys that haven't drank it yet. There we go. Okay, now they've officially all drank it. It's like, what the heck? Alrighty. Look, there's a cave here too. This area is crawling with creatures. Our rescue officers could have retreated into the cave to get away from them. Well, we should probably take a look inside. Alrighty, let's jump in. Oh, actually, no. There's a lot of things here. No, I think I'm just gonna look around first and explore before I go in the cave, actually. Alright. Kayla's online, yeah. Yeah, because I was planning on having, like, whoa. Okay, I thought I did something wrong. I was planning on if I did community, like, game nights, but then I realized I don't have an... Oh, wow, that is loud. Oh, my lord. I realized that since I don't have Nintendo Online right now, I can't really do that yet, so... we'll have to hold off on any of the community, like, Switch games and stuff until I kind of have to... I mean, at least now that I have a setup made, I'll be able to... like, do that stuff. I'll just get online at some point, and then just occasionally, like, as rewards, we can do, like, game nights and stuff. Mario Kart? Yes, I do have Mario Kart now. I have Mario Kart, I have, Smash, and, whatchamacallit? The Mario Party, so. Was it- wait. Should I have not thrown them in there? I threw them in there and then instantly regretted it. I was like, what if I... shouldn't do that. Okay, yeah, it's not gonna be something I do all the time. Oh, wow, okay. It's definitely not something to do all the time. Oh, please, oh, gosh. Good grief, dude. I gotta concentrate while I'm fighting. No! Oh, okay, I did it. Thank goodness, dude. I was so scared. I'd kick button smash. I used to be good at it, I think, but I don't really think so anymore. I'm like mediocre, I'd say. Okay, it said check the map for Pikmin. And minimal multiplayer games, unless we do Smash. I'd kick button smash. Did you just send Pikmin to their deaths? I didn't send them to their deaths, so they're okay. I don't have Smash at the moment. Like I said, we'll figure that out when the time comes. Okay, how do I... oh, click. Okay, so the Pikmin are all the way back at camp. So, no, they're fine. My Pikmin are good. Alright, am I gonna have enough to get this ball up here? I wonder? Got an Xbox and can play war games. No, I don't think I can reach up there. Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. Roy-day. Let's see here. I guess we'll just go back this way. And I can get a little more of the... I'm trying to, like, clear the map for the most part, you know? But I'll see if I can get anything else picked up on top of... Oh! The map getting explored. Huh, another circle of stones. We keep finding them in the most opportune locations. How interesting. Maybe Captain Olimar left them behind for us so we could track them down. Never mind that for now. I wonder if we're in this creature's territory. We should create a base here. Any Dandori master would tell you it's the most efficient way forward. But first, let's do something about that pesky creature already. Alright, sounds good. Come on, you guys. Alright. And then immediately call them back. Come on. Alright, call them back. Oh, okay, we're doing fine. Hey, y'all. Oh, good grief. I'm so sorry. I'm having to, like, concentrate so hard on them. Oh! Oh no! Ochi's on fire! Crap! I thought I could kill it fast enough. Ochi's tail is burning! Put the fire out with B right away! Okay, well... we're okay, I guess. There we go. Alright, they have enough to pick it up. And then I'll just use these to refresh. I don't think I killed any Pikmin. But just in case, I'll just plop these down. Alright, everybody back. Let's go. Do you know where all your Pikmin are? Yeah? Why? Why are you questioning me, bro? How we all broke? Not gonna have 4 games. We gotta get you a Switch scooter. It sounded like you said no, press B to put it out. Oh, no, it's because I have to call them. Alright, so everybody should be basically back here now. I think. And then, let me see where the treasures are. Notice you looking at the radar map just now? Why don't I tell you about a handy little function it has? This system will mark discovered caves and cleared areas with blah blah blah. If you go to that spot, the symbol disappears. It's a very useful way to keep track of your objectives. Okay. So there's our Pikmin that are currently on their way back. I don't know what... Oh, that's the cleared areas? I don't know. Okay. I see. Alright, well, we'll let those Pikmins get back over here. Oh, did stuff respawn? I swear this wasn't here before. Okay, there we go. Get the Pikmin. We'll grab that. Did I throw enough? I forgot if I threw 5. Okay, I did. Perfect. And there's also these little sprouts right here. Perfect. So we got our Pikmin numbers up pretty good. Oh, and there's also a treasure up there. I'm probably gonna need more Pikmin for that, though, actually. So let me grab all of my guys, and then we will hop up. Oh, can I not go up there? I thought I could jump. So Karma is a Pikmin expert. How many Pikmin can you have at once? I am by no means a Pikmin expert. I have 20. 20 is my cap of one color. I think it's 20 of each? I don't know. Okay. This body of water is blocking our way. Oh, no, no, no! I just killed one of my Pikmin, I think. Because I threw it in there. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, thank goodness. Oh, I got so scared. My life flashed before my eyes, dude. I thought I threw the Pikmin into the water and was gonna kill it because there'd be no way for it to get back up. Okay, so what do I do? Just say, huh? Wait, was it doing something? No, he's just sitting there. I don't know. Do I throw them across? No? I don't know what I'm doing. I wasn't paying attention, full disclosure. If I ban you not throwing them into the water, obviously I'm not gonna throw them into the water, dude. I'm not going to intentionally do that to the poor guys. Okay, yeah, I don't know how... I don't know. I'm so confused. Okay, well, I definitely can't get up there. Oh, I see. I think there's a cave thing up there. So, I'm not gonna be able... Oh, I know it's the same area I was in. It's because I have to take everything back to the, night thing. The day's, like, almost over. Can I not just, like, end it now? I don't know. Do this here, but I don't think I can do anything with that. Yeah, I have no idea. Alright, well, it's basically the end of the day. Can I, like, end the day early? Like, I'm already here. What else am I gonna be able to accomplish? I don't know, man. Okay, well, I'll run out this way then. Maybe it'll, like, auto send me back? I don't know. Oh, look at the time. An important part of any rescue mission is making sure you make your way back to the base before it gets dark. Oh, okay, it does auto, like, do it. According to the Captain Olimar's voyage log, Pikmin will be safe as long as they make it back to this area around the base. It seems the creatures will get even more aggressive at night. If any Pikmin are separated from the squad, you better collect them now. They're not. All of my Pikmins are good. Oh, so it gives me a counter, so I know how many Pikmin are gonna die if I don't help them? That's actually really useful. Okay, I'll have him break this for me. Alright, and then call him back to make sure Ochi is okay. We'll go look around here. Switch. Break these also, my friends. Perfect. Oh, I got a treasure. Well, unfortunately, they're not gonna make it back in time. So I can at least leave that stuff here. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay, did I get them all? Alright. All my Pikmin are safe. Perfect. Again, they're not gonna be able to bring those bodies back, I don't think. So, we'll just hang out, and we'll have nighttime. No, what? What happened? Whoa. You killed the little dudes? Yeah, because they were gonna kill me. They were trying to attack me. So obviously I have to. They're the enemies. What a monster? I'm not a monster, bro. Those are literally the Pikmin enemies. She doesn't know she can tame them? Hush. That is not a thing. Y'all are dumb. That enemy had a husband and adopted kids. Oh my gosh. I can't with y'all. Y'all are always like fighting for the most stupid things. You begin to think that you may be the real monster. Oh my lord. Y'all are always like fighting for the completely wrong things. Like Dawn's in a stupid Minecraft cows or whatever. Like, dude. That's the least of you. That should be the least of your concerns. The cows can die. Okay, so the cows can die, but not the passive cows that aren't doing anything to anyone can die, but the little bugs that are trying to kill me, no, they don't deserve death. Am I killing them was the right thing to do? Oh, Lord. Okay, no treasure, that's fine. We at least got new Pikmin, though. We got 50 new Pikmin, actually. That's cool. They don't deserve to die because they look cool. That's so dumb. Carver just admitted to killing innocents. I'm so sick of y'all. It's a shame we couldn't track down any of our missing rescue officers. We haven't detected any rescue signals above ground, huh? The rescue corps does attract the adventurous type. If any of them were to find a cave, they'd probably dive right in. That's where we found you, Captain. Tomorrow, let's focus on exploring and seeking out more caves. Alright, sounds good. We will do that. Now that I got my Pikmin numbers up. Come on, y'all, give war a chance. I'm time and a place, I guess. Okie dokie. Oh, you wanted to talk? We're all set over here, the SS Beagle. You can take off when you're ready. I'm ready to explore. Let's go. We're gonna go to the same area we were in. Yes. Alright. And we'll head back to where we were. Which is ironically exactly where we already are, but whatever. Okie dokie. The loading screens do take a little bit of time, but it's okay. It be what it be. Do 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 do. There we go. Alrighty. Let's go grab our Pikmin for the day. Okay. And perfect. I got my Pikmin. And we are good to go. Okay, so I'm not gonna bother with getting more Pikmin right now. We're good for the economy. I am going to go to where I dropped the stuff before. And I left it overnight, and we'll pick that up, and then once we get that taken care of, we can go inside the cave, I think. Alrighty. Is there anything this way? No. My stuff is over here. Wait, no, did the little rock things go away? I could have sworn there were little crystal thingies. Dang it. I guess there's no more crystal thingies. That sucks. I didn't know they disappear. Why are some Pikmin not leveled up? Because when they take damage, they, like, lose it. It's like their HP. There's the flower, the bud, and then the leaf. And it's like their HP. If that makes sense. Oh, here's some, like, little rock thingies. Let's grab some of them. Maybe you could have gotten them if you hadn't wasted time killing the cool little guys. Bro, they were gonna kill me. Hush. Alright, I will do that. Perfect. Okay. I forgot, I'll be honest, I can't remember if I can move my little onion thingy. I don't know, dude. The object of war is not to die for your country, but to make the other one die for his. I see. Alright, well, let's head over to the spaceship then, I guess. Alrighty. Do-do-do. Alright, so everyone... Oh, wait. Ochi did not... I forgot he had one too. Dang it. Okay, well, how... I can pause by going here. I am going to run to the bathroom, you guys, and we'll play a little bit more. So give me just 1 second. I'll come over here. Stream screens. Go to my BRB screen, and I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Give me 1 sec, y'all. And I will be right back. Okay, sorry, y'all. Gave me an extra little second there just to get situated. Let me read chat. We need... What the heck? Hold on. Nothing good comes from Whoa, okay, what's going on here? We need communism? The cows, democracy all the way. Communism? Communism, you can be in this one now. I would do communism, but Karma would outlaw cows just to spite me. No, we operate under communism here. Communism all the way. You took 245 seconds. That was a lot more than 1 second. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Democracy all the way. Oh, Lord. Okay, well, we are back regardless. Alright, let me get situated again. And, oh, wait. Are those Pikmin on their way? Did they get left there? Oh no! Wait, I think they got left there. I don't think they're coming. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, so I got all of my Pikmin, so let's head back over to where we were, because I guess I left some Pikmin there. Never been to a party that wasn't in high school for a birthday. I never went to parties either, Ash. Like, I am not a party person. I don't like leaving the house in general. Karma abandoned her followers. I did not abandon y'all. Yo, I went on break to go to the bathroom and stuff, and I literally took like 30 seconds longer than what I preemptively set my timer for. Y'all can shut it. Wait, am I still missing a Pikmin? Oh, he's coming. Yo, where are you going, buddy? Where's he running to? Okay. I guess. I don't know where he's going, but he's going somewhere. Oh, there he is. Alright. Let me come over here. Escape while you still can. No, he went to go pick up another, like, little thingy. Okay, I'm gonna move the base here. Move base. Alright, he ran that way, so now he's gonna have to turn around and run this way. Not even watching stream for the most part. I'd counted the seconds. What the heck? You just, like, sat there and counted the seconds? You're crazy, dude. I made the active decision to make a bit that would not be funny. Hey, to be fair, I set my timer for 300 seconds, so you counted wrong. And then I took an extra maybe 30, so it was like 330 seconds or something. Alright, I'm gonna... Oh! The Bulborb is sleeping! You want to keep a close eye on the creatures, but if they move around a lot, they can easily escape your line of sight. When that happens, there's a handy trick for keeping your sights and aim where you want them. Press ZR to fire to fix your auto-target lock and keep your aim focused on one target. It makes targeting nimble enemies or aiming while you're in motion a snap. Ooh, nice. More work cleaning shelves. What else am I gonna do? I'm actually about to clock out now. That's nice. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Ochi, I'm so sorry. Bro, I'm struggling. Hold on. Okay, so I have my Pikmin. Okay. He's gonna go back to sleep. Alright. perfect. Okay. Oh. Oh. No! Oh my goodness, I thought he was gonna, like, run right in and die. Okay, there we go. We are set. Excellent work. Keep it up as you proceed. Alright, we'll grab that, and then we'll have some Pikmin grab this big boy. Alright, there we go. Now, should be 10. Yes, it is. Huzzah. Wait, why did you attack him? Because he's a bad guy. What is y'all's problem? He is quite literally a bad guy. Have I lost track of any Pikmin? No, I haven't. Dude, can you shut up, lady? I have not lost any Pikmin. They're all literally right here with me. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're trying to sacrifice the little red guy. I didn't mean to, okay? Alright, so got all of those guys set. And then... Okay. So now that I've moved that... Okay, so there's a little bridge there I can go across. And then there's the cave to go up. Which will probably take me here? So, oh wait, actually, I don't know. I'm not sure, actually. This one probably leads to here. I don't know how to get up there. Whatever. We'll just continue exploring, I guess. I know I can't go in the water, because the poor little Pikmins. Oh, I can build this bridge now! Temporary redeem idea. You must sacrifice half your Pikmin to a corner of shame for 10 minutes and walk away. You can go back and click. No! I literally cannot do that. That would screw me over so hard because this is a time-based game. That would not work. And especially the amount you need. If I can only have 20 Pikmin, like, I wouldn't be able to do literally anything in the game. No! We are not doing that. Hush. Was this under construction at some point? I wonder who was working on it. I'm sure we could put it to good use if it was finished. Yeah, that is definitely not something we can do, y'all. How do I make them work on it? Do I need maybe... I don't know, dude. I don't know how to do it. Alright, well, we'll continue on our way. The bridge made of chocolate and peanut butter chunks. Yeah. But cows hate war. Oh my gosh, y'all. Can I have my Pikmin go up there? I want to see if they'd push it down. I guess I have to get up there first to be able to push it down. There's binoculars up there. Alright. I'm going to go here and bonk you. Alright, perfect. We got him. And then we'll get that. Perfect. Okay, that is electric, so I'm gonna need the electric Pikmin. So I guess I could really just go in the cave now. Because I feel like there's probably stuff in there and I'm kind of screwing myself over by not going in yet. So I'll just bring these back and then I'll go run to the cave, I think. Alright, I'll let them drop it in. Perfect. Okay, and then I'll let these guys get here. Right, perfect. And now, let's go to the cave, which I believe is, yep, this way. Alrighty. Halfway through the day, let's go into the cave.
Eddie!
I wonder if there might be a voyage log entry related to these coordinates. Yep, here it is. I entered a cave to look for SS dolphin parts and found a creature that defies the logic of space. It further surprised me by expelling frigid cold air. Imagine if there were Pikmin that had been acclimated to that cold air. This planet's ecosystem is full of mysteries. Take a look at this. Now, Captain Olimar certainly is thorough, isn't he? According to the log, anytime you enter a cave, you should take Pikmin with you. The SS Beagle can bring the Pikmin, so you can enter the cave without stopping by the base first. Yes, it's an ice cave, Dons. The Pikmin that remain on the surface can't just be left out here, so let's return them to Onion for the time being. Alright, and then we'll go... Perfect, okay. Into the cave. Yay! Okay. I guess let's get going and exploring. I think there was supposed to be one of my teammates in here, of the rescue corps. Good boy, Ochi. He's picked up a castaway's scent. It has to be one of our missing rescue officers. Time to get them back to safety. Alright. Okay, whew! Alright, all my Pikmins are safe. Alright, well that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's so many Pikmin stored when you only need 20. It's not like they're gonna die. I mean, they definitely will die eventually. Oops. There we go. Oh. What's this? That's not treasure. Huh, treasure or not, it does appear to contain some sparklium. You might as well keep collecting those defeated creatures. They may be enough to help, even if only a little. Alright, we'll do it. But you won't let that happen? I mean, obviously I'm gonna try not to let it happen. But you never know, dude. Sometimes, like, really unfortunate events occur. And it's not my fault, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. Alright, there we go. Alright, so they have brought everything in. Perfect. And then we will come over this way and we'll walk through the stuff and let them all drink. Perfect. Now they're all happy. Okay. Oh! Whoa! Wild Pikmin? I guess so. Alright, let's help them fight, I guess. Oh! I just froze Pikmin. Dang it! I wasn't paying attention. No! Is the poor thing frozen? Try the whistle to see if it'll still respond. I didn't notice he got knocked off. Oh! Okay, okay, they're good. Alright. Cool. Alright, come back. Oh, we got him. Okay. Everyone's good. Everyone's good. Finally, my car. A couple things. He said, our comrades should be in here. Let's go save him. And all I could think was no sacrifice him to love and watch him burn. So I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's something to check out in therapy if I ever go. Dear Lord. Sometimes unfortunate events happen that are totally not karma's fault. Yup, events that are totally not karma related at all in the slightest. Yeah, obviously. I could never do wrong in my entire life. I'm a saint, dude, obviously. Anything unfortunate that ever happens to me or the things around me are definitely not my fault. I always thought of Pikmin as plant-like creatures, so I never dreamed I'd come across an ice variant. Ice Pikmin can use their icy bodies to freeze water and creatures, but they also float like ice in the water. Don't spray them with water, though. They really don't like it. Their bodies are made of ice? Who knew that something frozen could move around like that? It's incredible. Secondly, the way you talk as if Pikmin are a finite resource. Can you not just grow an amount infinitely? You can accidentally kill, like, wipe all of your Pikmin. And if you don't have Pikmin, you can't make new Pikmin. You know? Huh, that seems like a lot of Pikmin. Is your squad bigger than normal? And also, the issue is, too, is, like, I mean, I guess you can grow more, but you can't always have a lot. Like, in some areas, it's going to be easier to get Pikmin than others, and especially if you're on a time crunch, it definitely makes things a little more difficult. Oh, I see. When you're underground, you can have a larger squad because the wild Pikmin you find will join you. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect! So they'll grab that, and then we have that. Oh, I guess I needed to give him another Pikmin. Okie dokie. So now that we've got that taken care of, I guess we will waddle back over to here. Alrighty, perfect. I didn't even realize there was... Oh, wait, that's the Pikmin that brought the singular little thingy-majig. Okie dokie. Cool, we got everyone now. Okay, can I knock this down with Ochi? That's what I'm wondering, because I'm like, I don't know how else to get up there. No? How do I do it? Can I just throw guys up there? Oh! I just saw that little yellow dude. The ice Pikmin. He was hanging out there getting him a little drink. Okay, I think everyone is flowers now. So we should be set. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. Oh, I didn't go into this area yet. Oh, okay, and then we'll break this. Okay, we actually didn't really need that, but it's okay. Perfect! Oh. Oh! What happened? It froze? Don't just stand there. Now's your chance. Okay. I think I got them all. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Alright. Send you back. And then, are you already dead? Oh, I guess I don't want to use my blue Pikmin. Crap. Oh, he's already gone, isn't he? Dang it. Okay. Whatever. Alright. Truly the best ones. Ice Pikmin super OP? Yeah. Alright. Well, I'll have Pikmin grab this. How many more do I need to throw? 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. Wait, where are my Ice Pikmin, actually? Oh, they're standing here. Okay, I'm just stupid. So I'm sure Ice Pikmin only can get these guys, like, break this, because it looks icy. Third question. At some point, a shrink ray was mentioned, and I know there are ethics and morals questioned with those devices, but why would you not just shrink the things attacking you that are bigger than you and step on them? Oh, the shrink ray is specifically like the little spaceship companion-y thingy. So it doesn't follow me around, it's stationary. So the shrink ray, it's only whenever, like, I bring items to it, it shrinks them so that it can, like, suck them up inside and store them. So it's not really something I can carry around, or like a radar gun or whatever. Oh! Thank you for the subscribe, Hale. I appreciate it. I got a plushie right to the face. Just like that, frozen solid. Oh! We got another, but thanks to the new thing Twitch has implemented, I can easily just click deny message. Just like that, frozen solid. I bet you can break it if you hit it now. Give the order to the Pikmin or Ochi. Alright. Bada bing. No, come back. Oh, Pikmin! Okay. Let's get those guys, and then I'll have my normal Pikmin grab that. I guess I didn't need to break that. Although, technically, I guess I get stuff out of it whenever it breaks, so I guess it's technically for the best. Okay. Well, there's someone here. Oh, the pretty Fazbear one. We found a castaway. Hurry and check their vitals. Pulse, blood pressure, temperature, all within normal parameters. Looks like their life support system did its job. We should transport them back to the SS Beagle and verify their ID badge. That's an oversight on the alien race. They should just make that technology portable for defenses on these alien planets. I mean, I guess so. Also, I'm going to change real quick on my overlays. The sound alerts box is a little big. Okay, I think that should show it. I made the notification box a little bit smaller because I realized it was taking up a huge portion of the screen. Let me see. It's also a kid's game. I mean, it's not fully a kid's game. Like, there's plenty of grown people that do it. Alright, there we go. Oh, Pikmin. I didn't hear the Pikmin noise. What the heck? I don't know what happened. Oh, wow. Plushie to the face. Again. Is the Pikmin noise not working now? Why am I not? Oh. That's why. That's why it's not working. Okay, I'm stupid. No, it's working for y'all. The audio wasn't playing for me. That's what it was. It was because I changed the setting really quickly. And so it's playing for y'all, but it's not physically playing through the speakers, but it's playing for me now. The Pikmin did Pikmin sound. Okay, so I think I got oh wait, no, I did not get everything in this cave. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do that, and then we'll go grab the rest of the Pikmin. Because I'm gonna have to break that down with Ochi, and I don't have Ochi right now. Was it this way? Yes! Huzzah. Yo, why are you just standing there, bro? No reaction, Sage? It's because I didn't see it! It's okay, I just took it like a champ, that's all. You did it! Let's take a look and see what the ID badge tells us. Hey, this is... Russ, an inventor, material engineer, and lover of all things science. He can develop all kinds of useful gadgets with the right raw materials. Hi! Oh, thank the stars he's alright. This is Russ, the scientist in charge of repairs and upgrades for spacesuits and the SS Shepard. His technical knowledge will be beyond helpful during this rescue mission. You found Russ, the rescue corp's talented scientist. Keep searching for the rest of the rescue officers. That'll do. I think throw plushie should be over the top like a 5-object shotgun or machine gun. Honestly, I could probably make that happen. I'll have to go into the settings for the application that does it. But I honestly might be able to make it throw multiple. Which would be cool. Dark Souls mode should count towards the Pikmin as well. No, dude. Nah. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'll have to think about it. Make another throw plushie that is more expensive that does that. Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. Maybe I'll lower the normal throw plushie to like 100 or something. Wait, is it already 100? I think I put it at 250. I don't remember. I'll put it like 100, and then maybe do like a 500 one that would be like throwing 5 or whatever. Just so like it would be in increments of 100, you know? Pikmin! Alright, I should have everything now. Is that it? Oh wait, no, I almost missed that entire onion over there. I'm so stupid. I almost forgot again. Okay, charge through. The ice dudes are cool. Yes, they are. We're just making more work for Karma. I'm sorry. No, it's really not that work. That much work. It's just a couple buttons I gotta press. So, it's fine. You're good. You're good. I guess let me throw more. Just to help out, I guess. Alright. Ta-da! We got the onion. Alrighty. Does it look like it's sputtering? It looks pretty pale for an onion. What do you think? Should we take it with us? Obviously, it's yellow Pikmins. Right? Cool. Let's go. Alright, so once that's brought in, I should be good. Oh, can I knock this down with Ochi? Yeah. Oh, no. I guess I throw Pikmin instead. And then that would make like a ramp to get to the exit. That's cool. Huh? This onion is different somehow. Let's take it back to the surface so we can compare it with the other onion. Alright. Paper bag has been lowered. Right. Grab my Pikmin over here and let's go. Also, y'all, I will be streaming maybe like another 15 minutes and we can kind of round this off at a nice, like, the 2.5-hour stream, but I'm just giving y'all that heads up in advance. They're like probably 15-ish more minutes because I do have other stuff to take care of today. And also just like my head hurts a little bit, not gonna lie. So just gonna take care of myself, all of that. And plus, you know, it's Sunday, prepare for work, all of that. Return to surface. There we go. Do. Plus, I gotta get the schedule and everything made for next week for the uploads. So yeah. Director of Destiny, Refreshing Queue, and Creatures. Cool. Investigation complete. Oh, I 100%ed it. Awesome. And I got 10 new Ice Pikmin. Speaking of work, did you get your old job back, crossing guard? Yeah, it's a yearly thing, and since I'm on good terms, like, I'm able to just be a crossing guard forever, basically, and since school started back up, I work at my crossing guard job again. So, pretty solid, same situation as last year. I mean, it obviously sucks because the heat's been so bad, but, yeah, that's what I've still been doing. Doing my little crossing stuff. Oh my goodness! Speaking of, I just remembered, so last week I broke my stupid freaking, my stop sign. And my boss said she was gonna get me one over the weekend, so I don't have a stop sign for tomorrow morning. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna be the stop sign. I'm just gonna have to, like, run out in traffic and, like, starfish to tell people to stop. Because she didn't freaking give me a stop sign. She told me she would text me and she'd get me one, but she didn't, so... Oh man, hopefully she'll just, like, show up at my job magically tomorrow, like a little fairy, and give me a stop sign, but... Oh man. Oh my gosh, you're right, Hale! And Texas is about to have a hella rain. So not only am I not gonna have a stop sign, but it's gonna be pouring freaking rain, dude. Oh... I don't know what I'm gonna do. Hopefully, is it gonna rain in the morning? Or I know the worst of it was gonna be Tuesday. Oh, thank goodness. Actually, it looks like here where I am, it's cleared up a little bit, the rain. So it's just gonna be in the afternoon, so I should be good in the morning. I'm looking at the weather now, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it's like pouring rain and there's zero visibility and I don't have a stop sign. Like, at least I have fluorescence, but, ugh. Buy some duct tape and make one? I mean... I wouldn't have the stop sign part, though. I don't know. Whatever. I'll figure it out. Sure, I synchronized your clock, Karma, but something's off. I calculated the difference. It looks as if about 1/6 as much time passed on the surface as you spent underground. Time seems to move differently in the underground spaces on this planet. I'm not sure how it works, but I suppose that means you can take as much time as you need to explore the caves. Oh, man. I have to pay respects to Karma's clothes. Her bones will never dry right. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be okay. At least whenever it rains, I can wear, like, I have, like, a waterproof jacket and stuff. I don't know. The onion sucked it up. The voyage log says the white bulb is called Flarlick. If we bring Flarlick to the onion, it'll increase the number of Pikmin it releases onto the surface at any one time by 10. Yes, time does move different underground. Don't question it, Dawn's... That's just how it is. You got a raincoat? Well, also just the nature of my job. It's like a work coat, like what construction workers would have. Just like a fluorescent waterproof, like, coat thingy. But it's actually pretty warm. Alright. Whoa, that'll be a big help when you're exploring. Try taking out more Pikmin. Alright, oh, so I guess I can take out my 10 little Pikmin here? Awesome! Oh, wait. Did it work? I'm so confused. Wait a second. I thought I would just pick Pikmin. I'm confused now. Alright, let me see. Oh, there we go. Now I can grab the Pikmin. Okay, I have Ice Pikmin now. Alright, and just to get the Ice Pikmin numbers up, even though it's only a red, I'll still have the Ice Pikmin pick it up, just to try to up their numbers at least a little bit. Because although the reds get double, like I have plenty of reds right now, so I'd rather focus on getting more ice ones. So onion color determines Pikmin type. Yes. Alright, there we go. So theoretically I should have more Pikmin. Oh wait, no! They're staying red. Never mind, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm just dumb. Oh, they're already following me. I'm just stupid. Have my dad's old rain puncher from when he was in the army. That's cool. Alright, let's look here. Where else can we... Oh, we have the water situation right here. So I can get the ice Pikmin to potentially freeze... Oh, what the heck is that? Can I, like, break it? Oh, no! Crap, I accidentally threw red Pikmin in. No, please don't die, please don't die! Hurry, Pikmin is drowning! Use your whistle to call it back. I'm trying, dude, but you interrupted me! Oh, thank the Lord. Okay, whew. We're... okay. No! Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, there we go. Whew! I got so scared. I was like, oh no! The Pikmin! They can't swim! Only the ice and water ones can. Am I trying to sacrifice the red guys again? I didn't mean to! Alright. This game is cute at least. Yeah, it's cute. But it's kind of dark. Like, yeah, the whole, like, message. I'm just, like, sending Pikmin to their deaths. Alright, cool. Can I... Okay, what if I leave my red Pikmin over here? Alright, cool. So I want them to, like, stay there. How... Can I go in the water? Oh, yeah, I can, okay. Oh, Ochi cannot! Ochi cannot! I'm so sorry, Ochi. This is bad. Ochi can't swim. Call him back to land with the whistle. Dang it! Ochi, come back! Dude, oh my gosh, now I called all the stupid Pikmin for no reason. Okay, I'm just gonna... For the sake of ease, I want all my red Pikmin to go away. Pikmin is probably the only Nintendo game series I haven't played. This is the first time I've seen gameplay of it. It's a lot of fun. For sure. Okay, Ochi, I just want you to go over there also. Oh, can I not throw them while I'm in the water? Well, then what do I do? I know I was supposed to, like, be able to freeze the water or something, but I don't know how. Because it doesn't look like they're freezing it. Maybe if I... Okay. I'm gonna send Ochi there. Can I just, like, walk in? Okay, there we go. That actually... Can I make them walk over it? No. Maybe I'll need water Pikmin in order to grab those. Is there anything around here? Oh! Can I... Okay, they're not building anything. You can use... Well, I know I can take a look around using that. I don't see anything here. You can't grow any new Pikmin, whatever the game gives for free is all you get. You gotta come up with names for all of them? Nah, I legitimately think... maybe it wouldn't be impossible. But that seems like it would be almost impossible. How the heck am I supposed to get up here? Hold on. Okay, well, I guess I can't do anything with that. So, whatever. Someone I know did a run with only 8 of each Pikmin. I mean, I guess it is possible. It would just be a little bit of a pain, you know? Alright, let's see here. I guess I'll just kind of head forward. Oh, wait, I'm going the opposite direction. Oh, I completely left Ochi, like, out to dry also. I'm so sorry, dude. Come back. Come back. Ochi. Great, no stray Pikmin to worry about. Yeah, the only quote-unquote stray Pikmin was Ochi! Oh, I can end it early. Okay. End day. Nice. End. But the game would become impossible at some point if you restricted yourself on getting more Pikmin. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, that would be extremely difficult, because then you would be able to pick up enough stuff, you know? Carmen's killing her followers, she missed my previous... Oh, I did say it, sorry, I didn't read it out loud. Yeah, Nuzlocke would be awful. I'd like to at least, before I try to do any challenges with the game, beat it, like, in the normal way, though. Which I think that's fair enough. Alright, we'll play a little bit more, maybe like one more day. So we'll play the next day, and then that's probably going to be the end of stream. Just so I can get myself situated, since it is a Sunday night and all. It's a community tournament Pokemon for tournament Pokemon game with a very limited options and permadeath. Other rules options. Yeah, I do know what a Nuzlocke is. I think you explained it to me before, actually. One more day, real life time. Oh no. But yeah, maybe in the future, but I'd like to at least beat it, like, the regular way first. Okay. Lesser Monk Bottom. Alright, I already saw all that. Alright, 13% complete. Welcome back, Russ. Glad the team made it here in one piece. Hehehe. That may be, but it would have been helpful if you showed the rest of us how to actually use it. One would expect an emergency escape device to be a bit more intuitive to use in the event of an emergency. And well, y'all, I am going to be doing my streamathon at some point. I just have to get kind of all the details set up. But y'all will have, like, long stream then. So that's at least something for y'all to look forward to. Karma, yes, we, meaning all of us, have work. Anyhow, now that you're back, Russ, can you tell us if you came across any rocks like this before we found you? Hehe. Oh, Colin. Not only did I see them, I've already completed very thorough research on this material. I discovered that, when heated, the rocks become soft and malleable and can be shaped into any form you desire. Oh, okay, so this is what I build the bridges out of. Its base properties can even change when exposed to different stimuli. It's quite a versatile raw material indeed. Cool. Cool doesn't even begin to describe it. This is the one, the ultimate biomass I've been searching for my entire career. I'm off tomorrow, I could go all night. I could not, dude, I gotta wake up too early for work. I got kids to, like, help cross the street. Me and Hale living it easy. I'm currently upgrading the 3D printer so we can use this miracle material to use as soon as you bring it to the SS Beagle. It'll be crucial to my work in the lab. Any other buildings needs that might arise. You and Karma are the only ones with a job to do tomorrow, I guess. We've got kids to take care of? Yeah, literally. What a spectacular update, Russ. I knew bringing along a material scientist would be key to our success. They'll find their way across the road on their own, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, speaking of that, I actually, the other week, I accidentally overslept my morning alarm, and I didn't show up to work, and no one said anything. I was, like, so panicked, because later that day, my supervisor called me, and I was like, oh no, she knows I missed work. But apparently she didn't. I didn't tell her either, but she never mentioned it. So I legitimately don't think anyone even noticed I didn't show up to work, and I still got paid for it. So I feel a little bad, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. But I was, like, sitting there, like, all day just waiting on a phone call to be like, you're fired. But nothing ever happened. No one mentioned it, and I don't think anyone noticed, so it's okay, I guess. What a spectacular update, Russ. I knew bringing along material scientists would be key to our success. Starting tomorrow, I'm expecting our rescue operations to go even more smoothly than usual now that you're here. You got paid to sleep? Yeah, literally. Alright, so we are good for the next day. Oh, man. I am wiped, y'all. Jobs like yours often go under the rug. You could take a day off every few weeks and probably never see an issue. Yeah, it would definitely be noticeable in the afternoon because at my school that I work at, the demographic of kids that, like, walk in the afternoons is extremely high, and it would be very noticeable. But in the mornings, there's so few kids that walk to school. It's mostly walking home, so it never really noticed. Save the random chance a boss comes down that road. Yeah, definitely. Wait, is it just me, or did Ochi go through a growth spurt overnight? That's actually quite typical for his breed. It's a sign that he's now fully grown and qualified for more rigorous activity. Yay! Okay, so Ochi grew now. This is what you were talking about, Dons. The Pikmin sure are playful today. Yes, they appear to be letting their guard down now that Ochi's come into his own. I'm just glad to see they're getting along. Right. Another benefit of Ochi being fully grown is that he can now build up his pup drive while completing missions. And with regular training sessions, he can learn new skills that'll be useful for everyday rescue operations. From the looks of it, Ochi is ready as ever to fill up that pup drive. Fat boy. Fat dog became thick. Alright, officers. To your stations, please. Copy that. Had you not started this game until this stream? No, I did not. I did not start my own personal playthrough. I now call the strategy meeting to order. First things first, Russ, please update us on the improvements being made to the SS Beagle. Hehe. It would be my absolute pleasure, Captain Shepard, because they're done. The SS Beagle now has the ability to transform any raw material collected in the field into an all-purpose clay. With this functionality, we should be able to easily build on location. Excellent. Of course, I'm not quite sure what we'll be building, but good work nonetheless. One last thing. Bring me raw material and I'll be able to whip up exciting new gear and items for you in the lab. I have no doubt they'll be useful to you while out in the field. That's why she chose this game over Baldur's Gate. She already did too much in BG. She's got to do other stuff for a bit. Yeah, I finished the playthrough like a 2 weeks ago? No, like a week. But yeah, I sunk like 150 hours into it, and then I was like, I'm not ready to start another Dark Urge run, another 150-hour playthrough, but I definitely would like to go back and do it in the future. Sounds like we're not only collecting treasure now, but raw material also. And don't forget about our missing rescue officers. We're counting on you to find them, Karma and Ochi. By the way, come talk to me later when you have a minute. I'd like to discuss Ochi's training. I'm almost ready to enter Act 3. Nice. Act 3... Actually, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to ruin the game for you. So, just forget I even opened my mouth. I hereby call the strategy meeting to a close. Copy that. I got a few weeks left, which is scary because I'm somewhat of a time crunch. Oh, what do you mean you're in a time crunch? Here, let's go talk to this lady. Oh, wait, no, that's the dude. Ochi, there we go. Ah, there you are. Danger is a constant when exploring an unknown planet like this one. The skills I'll teach you and Ochi just might save you. As long as you and Ochi keep building up his pup drive, there's nothing the two of you can't do. Well, I hope you're ready because it's time to start your training. Alright, I'd like to train. Cyberpunk has its 2.0/DLC coming out soon. Oh, that's cool. I'll just tell you what I was gonna say then. Baldur's Gate is really good, Scooter. But as I was gonna say, Act 3 is a little bit of a letdown. So if you didn't already know, the developers, they cut a crap ton of content in the final release, and basically all of that is in Act 3. So you like, Act 2 is so good, and then you get to Act 3, and I'm gonna be honest, it falls a little bit flat. There's things to do, but the story is just kind of not there. There's a lot of awkward dead ends and things like that, so you're probably going to speed through Act 3 faster. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and that's just because of the dead ends that were left behind by them cutting content for the final release. And then I sunk 200 hours straight into Cyberpunk when I finally got a PC that could run it. Now I get to replay the game with massive overhauled mechanics and new map. That's cool. Alright. Learn all Ochi's skills. Okay. This rescue pup training curriculum has been passed down through many generations. If Ochi's pup drive is built up sufficiently, he can train and learn new skills without a problem. As for what skills to learn and when to learn them, that depends on the rescue approach you two want to take. Go to the buff path if you want to carry heavy things, or go with the chomp path if taking on creatures is your priority. But keep proper Dandori practices in mind and think carefully about what will help you carry out your duties efficiently. And so many characters talk about going to Baldur's Gate and yet it feels so empty compared to the others. That's actually because there was supposed to be an upper city and lower city. They completely got rid of the entire upper city, which is like the reason Karlach originally didn't have an ending. She didn't have a good end because her good ending, the stuff she needed for it, was in the upper city, and they completely like took out the entire upper city, which sucks, because literally the whole reason I bought the game was I saw all these trailers showing the upper city and how cool it looked, just for it not to exist. They're already working on extending some content, like people were so sad about Carlack's story, but the devs are working to alter it and expand it as best they can. I know. It's just, all I'm saying is it's a letdown compared to Act 2. Okay, learn heal, power. When he's injured, he'll recover, as long as he takes it easy. He's going to tell your partner to go to your base, or call them to you. It also enables go here. This shortens the energy charging time a little. From his attack, the chomp is a long one, but worth it. Okay. That's not too bad. I'll have this. Okay. Buff 2. Good boy. Alright. Great. Great work, Ochi. I've got just the reward for you. Going forward, every time you complete training, you'll get a Thrummy Bone. Give it to Ochi as a reward for me. Okay, I guess? Oh, this seems like an opportune time to teach you how to use items. Well, shoot, now I don't want to play it tonight if I'm going to be over at that soon. I was going to finish sweeping up the last few quests in the Shadowlands and do night song stuff before bed. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, Ash, Act 2 is like a masterpiece, but once you enter Act 3, like, there's still cool stuff, but it doesn't feel as, like, relevant or important, you know? Like, it definitely feels a little more hollow, if that makes sense. Oh, where, like, you can tell that there was definitely intended to be more things than what they're actually giving you, because a lot of quests will allude to things that no longer, like, exist, so it just falls a little flat in places. So I don't mean to, like, ruin that for you, but if you're saying you're on a time crunch and stuff, like, I'm just saying that in the sake of reassurance that trust me, you'll have time. For my actions, open your pack. You'll find all your items in there, so just pick the one you want to use. Okay, so I go here, and then pack, and then confirm, and grab that, and then, there we go. There, he got his bone! Very nice, Ochi. Alright, talk to this guy. Ahem, allow me to introduce myself again. I'm Russ, the resident brains of the Rescue Corps operation. I use the raw materials we find in my handmade components to create all kinds of items and gear for use in the field. Alright, let's look at the lab, I guess. I can proudly state that all my inventions have been perfectly perfected. You could even say that I have it down to a science. In exchange for raw material, I provide you with new gear. Your contributions make it possible to continue my important work. I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going on story-wise, to be fair. I just see the story as, man, can anyone just take this parasite out? Why am I in someone's ground massive temple, just kill me or rip this bug out? I guess. The main story for Act 2 is just the whole night song situation. I don't know. I mean, so far, Starfield hasn't been a letdown for me yet. That's good. Starfield isn't really my kind of thing, and I looked at it, and, like, it gave me hella motion sickness, so I don't think I'm going to be able to play it, to be completely honest. Contributions, make it work. I may run out of components from time to time. If that happens, just visit the lab the next day after I've restocked. Okay, I can do that. Alright, charging horn. We'll order selected Pikmin to charge. Press repeatedly to charge the entire squad. Made of fireproof fabric, it'll protect you from any inferno. Plus, it's moisture wicking. Oh, that's cool. Fluctuate water in line, never freeze again, even in sub-zero temperatures. Once you're in... Okay, I'm gonna save up to help Ochi, because I feel like I'll mostly be out of the way. Why is Russ introducing himself to you again? Aren't you all supposed to be part of the same rescue team? Oh, he was unconscious. I hadn't really met him yet. I don't know. I mean, I guess I have, actually. But he's just saying he's got sciencey stuff, and that's what he does. You think you would already know these people before you're on a spaceship with them to go to a known planet? Yeah, actually, you're right. I don't know, man. I'm having fun. I love exploring and seeing everything. I love combat, just exploring and looting. But story has not been the draw for me with BG3. Okay, well, then you'll probably be fine with, whatchamacallit, Act 3. There's stuff to do. It's just the story is a little wonky in places. Alright, let's go. Now, where would you like to go? Okay. The space combat is fun, but you can sometimes find yourself disoriented from time to time. Makes sense. Alright, let's go. Finish up this day, and then we will be done with stream for the night until next weekend. Alright. So let's try to make this a productive one. I realized the story I started at the very beginning of stream I still never finished. So I guess since like I'm nearing the end of stream, I might as well tell my story. Have you heard about the combat glitch / possible? I have not heard about any of the Starfield stuff. Save your story? No, I don't want to save my story because it's something I'm really excited about. Thank you very much. No, so, okay, what I was saying is, I have to restart with the whole context. Okay, so I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm always in a lot of pain. Y'all know that, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, why is she talking? As we discussed, he's decided to grow a bit, so I decided to drill him on his jump skill. Okay, he should be able to jump. Walk up close to Ochi and press Y. Okay, and then extra jump. If you keep holding X, you can build up his power, hit something with a rush, blah blah blah. Jump will give you access to more areas, and a good rush can be a game-changing move in battle. Nice, okay. The AI in Starfield is programmed to shoot the center of your ship, dead center, so if you just make a cube framework ship and leave your center empty, the enemies basically can't hit you ever. That's hilarious. That part is super depressing. Alright, so let's go over here. Oh, I guess I can't grab my Pikmin like this. Alright, let's get some of these Pikmin. Okay, actually, because I can get my full 30. So I'll do like that. Okay, and then I'll hop on Ochi. Oh, and they're riding with me. Okay, where am I going? Let me remember. Why it's funny, and unless you know it and choose to abuse it, doesn't really affect your gameplay. I find it funny. Okay, oh, that is not what I wanted. Okay, so the map. So it looks like we can make a bridge there. There was also over here where there's a treasure in another cave. We'll go back to the other area. I guess I can build this cave first. I mean, not cave, a bridge. What am I talking about? I believe we can turn this partial construction into a vital asset. We'll process raw material into clay at the SS Beagle and use it as a building material to finish the structure. These raw materials are only valuable when brilliant minds give them a higher purpose after all. Once you're at a construction site, simply direct your Pikmin and Ochi to start building. Okay. How do I do that? Just by throwing them like that? Oh, okay, yeah, that's exactly what to do, actually. Okay, so I guess I'll just throw these guys and just let them, like, live their lives. Alright, well, it should be built. They could do so much better, but they chose to go the easy route. I still like the game. I think it's fun. Okay, our bridge is complete. Almost. Don't get me wrong, it looks super fun. Hee. Construction of the clay bridge is complete. Now you can come across as you please. Go ahead, admire the impressive craftsmanship. Okay, so where does that bridge go to? Okay, perfect. Right back to the area where I needed to go, so... that is actually exactly what I needed. Alright, so I'm gonna go hop on Ochi real quick, and then we'll jump up here. But they cut that many corners per game. But supposedly it's been in the work for years. How do I... oh, wait. Do I need to, like, have Ochi... oh, I probably need to knock it down using Ochi. There we go, perfect. And then I'll just have some Pikmin bring that over for me. Alright. Not a Bethesda fanboy. I've rarely ever played a single Bethesda game, but Starfield is a Bethesda game. What do you expect? They take their shortcuts where they can. Oh, I can go into the cave? Oh, but I don't really want to do a cave right now. Because the reality... oh, shoot. I should have brought those guys there. Whatever. Alright, let's just drop it off and I'll grab my Pikmin. Honestly, once they're dropped off, I can just hop up here and go in the cave. I just have to make sure it gets turned in first. Okay, it's collected. Let's go. You also need to remember I'm a fan of Fallout. Okay. Someone or something built a rough wall inside the cave. The Pikmin and I were unable to scramble out, but Moss was unable to climb up the wall. I'll have to leave her behind for now and hope we can find a way or a place to meet up. Okay. Let's go. So bring that. Okay. Confirm. Alright, let's go. It's not my kind of game, but when multiplayer becomes a thing, I might get it. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be into it, honestly. I love the world of Fallout and the stories, but I tried playing and couldn't get behind the gameplay of the games. I prefer listening to stories and watching others play. Nice, nice. I wish I could play. Like I said, it's just the motion sickness. I can't do it. Especially the spacey part. Oh! I don't like these mushroom thingies. I'm a little sussed out, TBH. I don't know if I should be sussed out. Okay, well, I guess that works. Alright. Grab my Pikmins. Okay. And then... No! Oh, okay, I thought that was the sound of my Pikmin dying, but it was just... These dudes are dying! Alright, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Right, and then we'll just have, okay, that works. And then they got all of those. Perfect. Okay. Well, then hopefully they'll grab all of that for me. Just a mushroom being a mushroom doing mushroom things. How are you when it comes to Subnautica, then? I never actually, like, played Subnautica. I have it, but I did not actually, whatchamacallit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I have it now. I have the game, but I never actually really played it, so I'm not entirely sure how I would be with it. Stop mushroom giving away no fucking. Those poor mushrooms. Oh lord. Okay. Oh, more ice Pikmin, it looks like. Oh, do I need to jump up there? Alright. Well, we got more Pikmins. Perfect. Okay. So I cannot take red Pikmin there, so I just need y'all to, like, go over there for me. Okay. And then I need you to... There we go. Okay, so I have these now. I should be able... Wait, can Ochi still not swim? Okay. No, he cannot. Okay. Well, good to know. Ochi, get out of the freaking water. You don't know how to swim, dude. Go over there. Oh, wait, I can't even jump up there. Ochi, why are you jumping up there? Oh, my lord. Oh, wait a second. It says I need 10 Pikmin. I got this. So I guess 10 Pikmin to freeze the water. There we go. Perfect. Okay, okay. Wait, I lied. I've played a Pikmin game. Sort of. I've been playing Pikmin Bloom on my phone, and that's been pretty fun. Nothing like a real Pikmin game, but it's fun. I played that for a little bit, actually. How amazing is that? The water froze almost instantaneously. Now you can travel right across the top. Cool. Well, then that means everyone else can come now. Alright. Oh, I need to get on Ochi, I guess. Whoops. Yeah, it's like Pokemon Go, but for Pikmin. Throw Pikmin up there. I'll let them grab it. Okay, they're good. Alright, I'll let them get on over. Oh! Can I climb this? Looks like Ochi can't climb this wall. Oh, man, dude. I forgot what the button is to auto-lock. Dang it, dude. No, leave my Pikmin alone. Leave me alone, dude. Oh my gosh, leave me alone. Oh. Leave me the heck alone. Oh. No, leave them. Okay, we're good, we're good. I was so scared. My poor freaking Pikmin. Alright, we're good though. Would have been a lot funnier if we looked at the first person and you found another underneath. That would, actually. Oh, can I take some of these? Oh wait, did I only have? Okay, no. Alright, there we go. So I'll grab that, and then he can grab that, and then boom. Whoops. Uh-oh. Something is blocking the Pikmin. Find a way to clear the path. What the heck is blocking their path? Well, I guess I will go see. Uh-oh, the Pikmin are having trouble. No! No, 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 no! My Pikmin! My Pikmin! Come back! Oh my gosh. Okay, am I okay? Okay, I am okay. Oh, I was so scared. I was like, are those my Pikmin? Are they gonna die? Oh, can I push this? Okay, that's 6. So I'm gonna need some of y'all to come back. Oh, what just... I was about to say, I need some of y'all to, like, come help push this thing. Why are they dancing with a corpse? They're not dancing. They're just trying to, like, get through, and that's them just not knowing where to go. They're like, oh, help. We don't know where to go. Okay, Alright, there we go. Got some Pikmin there. Oh, and I have a random, like, ice Pikmin hanging here. Where aren't you dancing with the corpse? No, I'm gonna need to go get more Pikmin. Come back, dude. There we go. Okie dokie. So let's get back over here. And then now that I have all of those, I should be able to grab everyone here as well as those guys. And then, oh wait. Yeah, no, Ochi can come with me now. Ice about to melt. Is that a... Oh, there's another thing over there. I'll go look at that in a moment. Why aren't y'all coming, dude? So Pikmin come from Alien Onion, right? Are Pikmin advanced worms or like flesh animals, or are they advanced plants? I don't know what they actually are. I'm gonna be real with you. Alright, let me put some Pikmin there. And then I'll... Oh, you can get past this fence. That's fine. Oh. Oh, Oji can wait there. Alright, and then I'll have my red Pikmin pick this up. And they can take it back. Okay, how many more do I need? Okay, there we go. That should be all of them. Alrighty. And then... Alright, finish breaking that. Perfect. Okay. Yep, that's enough. Okay. Oh, so it's the other part of the Russian doll. Or one of the other ones. And if they're plants, why would they evolve to act the way they do? Or they're animals, why would they evolve to be so stupid? I don't know, man. These are questions that I just cannot answer for you. Okay, there we go. And then I can... Whoops! I always press the wrong button. Alright, and then Ochi can... Boom! Alright, and we're set. Was there anything even in there? No? I don't think so. Well, that's okay, I guess. Let's go ahead and... break through here. And I guess that's the cave exit. But I did not get everything, because there was this little section over here, so I'm gonna go look at that before we leave the cave. Tell me you were the creator. I didn't say I was the creator of Pikmin. In fact, I said the exact opposite. I said that, believe it or not, I am not the creator of Pikmin. How dare you, like, skew my words. Give us the answers. Why did you do the things you did? I explicitly said I am not the creator of Pikmin. I can stick my ash at. You know what? Shut up. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Y'all are dumb. Wait. What the heck? So this was just some like weird walk around. Okay, well then that was useless and for nothing. It's fine. Alright, then let's come back over here. And I guess head out of the cave. Oh wait, was it this way? Yeah. Alright, let's climb out of the cave. And then we... Okay, continue. Okie dokie. Oh, wait, it goes deeper? I forgot about that. Alright, 50%, so that means one more level. Okay, then I change it. It's not gonna be the end of the day, it's gonna be the end of the cave. Since the cave, like, you know, it takes time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because I'm low-key, like, feeling a little hungry right now. And I kind of want a snack and everything. There must be a castaway nearby. I see. So I'll see how long the second part of the cave takes, and then we'll go from there. Alright, let's give Pikmin a chance to drink up all that stuff. Right, and then bada bing, bada boom. Okay. I'm gonna let them drink more. Watch out, the dog is thinking about bombs again. Oh my lord. Okay, you can't hide your tragedy forever, Shigeru Miyamoto. The people want answers. I'm sorry, but I just can't give you the answers you're asking for. Alright, so there's a little dude up there. Oh, and there's like... Oh, it's like suspended in the air? So I think the best option is gonna be to jump up here, and then can I like auto-lock onto it? What the heck? Okay. Whoa, that was actually really easy by doing that. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to do it that easily, but like, he basically just one shot. So, you know what? I'll take it. Whoops, I didn't mean to hop off. Can't stop Bomb Dog from doing what Bomb Dog does best. Oh my lord. Alright, I think we might have found another rescue officer. Let's hurry and verify their ID info. An acclaimed treasure appraiser who's traveled extensively. His techniques were used to develop a leading appraisal AI. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Hang on. This is no rescue officer. Who is this and how did he get here? The ID shows that he's a treasure appraiser. What's he doing on this planet? Huh. I wonder. You remember the voyage log that arrived with Captain Olimar's SOS signal? Perhaps there were others who picked up his signal, saw the log, and decided to come all the way in search of his treasure. Or search of the treasure. Maybe they ended up like Captain Olimar, too, shipwrecked and stranded. And that's my hunch, anyway. I'd like to think this appraiser is the only one, but... we should keep an eye out for more civilian castaways and be ready to rescue them, too. Chances are they're in danger. I'm officially adding this to our mission list. Got it, you two? Got it. Okay, so let's say you didn't create Pikmin. Were you also lying about being the lead designer of Lux? I'm so over y'all. I'm not a designer of jack crap. Click on an enemy or something, press ZL after you have your crucial. I thought it was ZR. That's probably why I haven't been able to to lock on to anything. Okay, and then up here, and then switch the Pikmins. And then we'll do that. Throw some more. Okay. Oh wait, maybe is that what's counterweighting the thingy up there? I don't know, I should probably throw more, shouldn't I? Help it go a little bit faster. There we go. Right, and can I jump up there now? No, I literally cannot. Okay. Can I... what if I jump up here? But you're not the designer of your model? Okay, fine, I'm the designer of my model. But you are, that one is actually fact. You just told us a bold-faced lie. You made your own model and character? Okay, fine. I did make my own model and character. So I'm a designer of something, I guess. How do I, like... Oh, there we go. Wait, how am I supposed to... It gave me the option I could almost, like... How do we target up there? I don't know how. It showed for like a split second that I could. So you created all of Little Big Planet zombies? I've actually never played Little Big Planet. Wait, why did my Pikmin not hop off? What the heck, dude? Oh my gosh. I don't know how to get this stupid spider web. I mean, there has to be a way. I just don't know how to get the stupid thing. I'm just making stuff up at this point. I'll shut up. Oh! It showed if I jumped I could. Wait, can I like... Can I jump and throw? Oh, shoot. Hold on. So... No, I literally can't. So then what am I supposed to do? Can I like run and jump like that? Oh. Okay, I'm just really stupid, I guess? I don't know, man. Okay, let me try that again. Someone has to expose karma for who she really is. I think you just need to stand on the edge. Yeah, you're 100% right, actually, Hale. I'm just really stupid. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I have such a bad habit of trying to make things 10 times more complicated than they actually are. Like, it's a legitimate fault. No, don't hide the truth. Maybe if you just aim under it, it'll auto-lock. See, I can't, like, aim vertically. I don't know. Well, I got it now, at least. And that should be the last thing I need. Yeah. So once they get that treasure in, I'll be able to leave the cave. The Earth is a hexagonal prism, Bigfoot is fake, but the Yeti is real, and Skittles are actually leprechaun poops. Oh, Lord. Alright, new treasure collected, so let's go. Return to surface. We are set. Right, coolio. We got the Mama Doll head, empty vase, and aspiration ritual pole. Very nice. Investigation complete. 100%. Okie dokie, we will finish the rest of the day, I guess. I think I was like halfway through the day when I went in the cave, so might as well. And then that'll be for the end of stream. Y'all are lucky. I only intended to have a 2-hour stream, but it's been 3 hours and we're still going just slightly longer. So y'all got already a little over an hour longer than what I had anticipated, but it's cool. I just gotta get some stuff, like I said, done for the week. But we'll come to a nice round end, and then we'll be good for the next week. Tonight is a good night. And Carmen is superior here trying to give us a small bit of wild light. Aw. What's the problem? Oh, I see. The Pikmin won't follow you onto the surface. Yeah, there are limits to how many and what types of Pikmin you can have out on the surface at any one time. But don't worry about the rest when you choose which Pikmin to take. Any remaining Pikmin will go back to the Orion with the SS Beagle. Alrighty. There's a multiplayer? For Pikmin? I mean, not really like a solid one. From my understanding, the second player, they literally just throw pebbles at the screen. Like, they're literally just a reticule on the game, and then they just, like, throw rocks. That's literally all multiplayer is. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so I went there. There, and there's still stuff up there. Okay. This bridge is built so I can just cut through here. What base lie to tell your little brother to play with you? Yeah, that's literally kind of the point of it. I know people that have made real multiplayer mods for older Pikmin games. I see. Wait, why can't I get up here? There we go. Oh, look at this cute little strawberry. I love it. It looks so shiny and yummy. The perfect little strawberry. Oh lord, I'm not doing another cave right now, dude. I gotta go. Is it bad to throw my Pikmin in here? I guess I'll find out the hard way. Is it okay? Is something terrible gonna happen? Oh, okay. That is the opposite of terrible. Nice. Oh no! That one's stuck up there. I don't think I can get that one down. It's like glitched. Maybe if I throw it next to it? No, I just don't think I'm gonna be able to- Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, he got it. We're good. Now you're taking the strawberry away. If you left it, you could have looked at it more. Hush, I gotta take it. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, there's something else that way, just off to our side, I guess? Where, though? As y'all know, I'm very bad at orienting myself using maps, so... Okay, I'm assuming it's up here? Yeah, okay, so that's like what a drop-off it looks like. Alright, so maybe if I come around... I don't know where to go. Hold on. We've got all that. Okay, I don't think I've come around that way before. Okay, well, let me go get my Pikmin first, I guess. They should be around this way, I believe. It looks like this map doesn't have a north block either. That doesn't help anything. Yeah, if it rotates around, it makes it a little confusing. Oh, yep, because see, I just went the complete wrong way. Oh, no. Alright, well then I can cross the bridge and I'll be right back. And then I should be okay again. Alright, cool. Got my Pikmins! Alright, and then I guess we'll head this direction. Can't get up there. Ba-ba-ba. Oh my gosh, man, what is up with these spam bots? This is my third one this stream. Like, I get 0 in my streams normally. Like, I never have to deal with spam, but this is the third one that has popped up in my stream that I've had to, like, deny today. That's crazy, dude. Oh gosh! Oh man. Okay, we're good, we're good. Everything's fine. Perfect. Alright. Throw those. Okay, so we're good on that. Alright, is there anything else over here? The bots have seen how famous you are? Apparently. Dang. Oh! I don't know how to get up there. They can't reach it. We can't transport this thing for now. Oh, that is a sleeping bulborb. I'm just gonna ignore that for right now. The metal plate is raised. Can I, like, knock it down? Nope, I cannot. Okay. And I'm assuming Pikmin won't fix it? Nope. Okay. Well then, in that case, let's head back over this way. Where my Pikmin are. Alright, so yeah, I need yellow Pikmin in order to get that. Because, like, the electric stuff. So I know I'm not in a, in a state where I can deal with that yet. Alright. Let's grab my Pikmin over here. What about... Was it this way I was going? I think there was something this way. Oh! Can I do something with this? I don't think you can pull it from here. Okay. try it from the other side? Well, I can't get to the other side. Alright, let's walk around this way. Here's some more of the, this thingy. I guess we'll see. We'll let them dig it out, see how many's there, and go from there. Y'all Hale is actively doing sports right now? What? What are you talking about? Okay, we'll grab that. And then... How do I... Me sports? I wasn't even looking... What? Okay. Oh, there we go. I'm up. Oh, that doesn't do anything. Oh, can I can make the Pikmin pull it down! That is extremely useful. Oh, I see. I'm just focused on Pikmin. Alright, let's see. Can I charge up a super attack on this little Bulborb? Alright, come on. Oh! No! You're... Oh my gosh. I killed my first freaking Pikmin. I hate my life, dude. Oh my gosh. Well... I'm officially a Pikmin killer. Rest in peace, dude. I think like 4 of them died. It's because I was in such a bad position. Oh, man. I'm so sad. Poor Pikmin. Yeah, they died with honor, at least. Oh, man. I feel so sad. I hate killing the Pikmin. But, I mean, I know it's inevitable. It's kind of, like, part of the game, but... Red was finally successfully sacrificed. No! Alright. Let's go. Come on, guys! You can do it. Wait, can I hop off Ochi and then, like, have him help? I'm sure that'll make it go faster. There we go. Now he can help them pull it across faster. We should be almost there. What do you mean it's part of the game? You made the active choice to send them into the battle? Yeah, because I have to, bro! You killed those alien things. Y'all... I can't with y'all. Okay. We are set. Okay, and there's nothing else we can really do because it's basically the end of the day now. Here, I'll plug my Pikmin at least. You could load a previous save or restart the run. I haven't saved at all. I actually don't know how to save. Can I save or does it auto-save? Oh, there is a rewind time. Well, nah. I'm good. Alright, well, this is the end of the day, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the day, and then we will end stream after. Alright, end. We gotta be pacifist and never kill? No. I'm not gonna do that. You just choose to leave Terry dead? Unfortunately, yeah. That's just how it happens sometimes, Ash. Blood is on your tiny, tiny hands. I'm aware, trust me. Murderer. Yo! Alright, let's hear stats for the end of the day. We'll never let you forget this act. Oh, Lord. I can't with y'all. Well, good night, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna just check my stat things and then we'll be done for the night until next week. Alright, cool. Got full rescues. We got a Sunseed Berry, and then Orb of Destruction. That's an interesting name. I lost... Oh my gosh, I lost 4 ice Pikmin. I thought it was 4 red, 1 ice. Dang, that sucks, because the ice are harder to get. I'll have to be more careful next time. Whatever, it'll be okay. Be honest for a second, Karma, would you rather us be goofy and stupid or serious and well-behaved? Obviously, I prefer y'all being goofy. Like, sometimes I'll be like, y'all shush, but no, I enjoy the goofy, lighthearted move rather than serious. And this is for fun, for everyone. I'm still shocked that Captain Olimar isn't the only castaway on this planet. Well, Olimar's SOS signal was transmitted across the entirety of outer space, so it's not completely unexpected that the message would capture the attention of adventure seekers and draw them in here. My favorite sport is Orb of Destruction. Oh lord. Remember the Ice Boys. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to. As long as I don't get automated. I love the enthusiasm. Of course, the more rescues we make, the more crowded the rescue command post will get. Colin, I need you to further develop and expand the rescue command post. Copy that, Captain. My list of job duties just keeps getting longer and longer. No wonder Colin looks so depressed. Alright, well, that should be it. Oh, I see you've used a pen. So then I guess I don't need to tell you that it's as easy as selecting and pressing A. Commend your instincts. Pinning a mission is a great way to keep track. Alright, well, sounds good. So glad I got to be here for a bit. I missed hanging out. I don't have any friends. Ash, we're all just vibing together. I mean, we have my YouTube, that stream, whatever. I mean, I don't get out much, but it's nice at least, even on the weekends, just to hang out for a couple hours. But y'all all take care of yourself, too. Like, I'm not gonna be online 24/7. I'm glad that I can give y'all a safe space just to, like, hang out and have a good time, even if it's only a little bit here and there, but I'm glad that y'all are able to come to my stream just for comfort and just, like, a little bit of a good time in the middle of the week, you know? All that fun stuff. Alright, well, this is going to be the end of stream, y'all. As usual, I really appreciate all of you guys being here, as I was saying. It means a lot to be able to see you guys every week, and we just kind of have time to hang out, be silly, goofy, whatever, just take a break from the rest of the world. I see your streams like my D&D games, a time to look forward to and a time to get to interact with people. 100%, like, I'm happy that y'all can look at my streams and content as a positive thing like that, because kind of my whole goal as a content creator is I want to be both a positive role model and just, like, a place people can come. Like, obviously I'm not going to call myself like a comfort streamer or something, because I see that term tossed around, and I don't feel like it really describes me, because, like, to be quite frank, I'm a hot mess. And I'm just, like, complete chaos, but I just like to create a community in a space where people feel comfortable just hanging out and, like, spending some time, you know? And I really pride myself on the community I've created, which is you guys. Like, I'm really happy to have each and every one of you here. But alas, it is Sunday, so this is our last stream for the week, and I'm tired, and the stream is ending. So, you know, I'll have my videos uploaded as usual at 12 p.m. Central over on YouTube, and then we'll be back. I'll probably play some more Pikmin next weekend, too. I was enjoying us playing today, so probably next weekend we'll play some more Pikmin, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so I hope all of you guys take care of yourself throughout the week. Like, if y'all have fun stuff to look forward to, like, go have your fun, and take care of yourselves, most importantly, and I will be seeing y'all next time. Don't beat the game without us. I'm not, don't worry. I'm leaving Pikmin for stream, okay? Well, good night, you guys. Take care of yourself. Don't get run over. I will try not to get run over. It's time for Overwatch. I will stream Overwatch one day, but, like, I don't even have it downloaded. Don't get hit by a truck. I will try not to. My model's like twitching her eye right now. Alright, well, I'll see you guys next week. Until then, bye.